There we go. And I'm trying to work out this bloody live stream stuff. I'm still not used to this stuff yet. But yes, welcome to the MadSpideyverse. Obviously, yes, as you may have seen, it is my birthday today. I'm not a big celebrator of my birthday, but I thought I've taken the day off because that's what I usually do. I'm not one who, whether that's an Aussie thing or not, I generally don't work on my birthday as much if I can help it, regardless of whether I celebrate or not. But yeah, thanks for joining me if you are here. I know there's a few people might have just yeah, thanks Carvey, cheers mate. Ruby G, thanks brother. Freaky Louie, my ASM brother, thank you so much mate, I appreciate it. What else we got? Chop, thanks mate, you're always the best. You're always commenting on everybody's videos, no matter how big or how small a channel they are. We all appreciate you, mate. It's, you know, you're an absolute champion. Thank you so much. G'day, mate. My New Zealand brother, Minnie Aberdeen, all the best possum. Cheers, mate. Thanks, Sarah. You should be at work and not typing on live streams, you naughty girl, but I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Approaching dinner time here, so I'm heading offline shortly, but wanted to say what's up. Yeah, no, thanks, mate. I appreciate it. As I said in the description, I just said I might be on for 5 minutes. I might be on for an hour. I don't know. It depends on whether anybody actually is around to actually sort of pop on and that, which reminds me, I need to work out how to... Hopefully that's the right one. There we go. Put the link in the description if anybody does want to jump on. Birthdays like national holidays, trying not to work if I can on my birthday. Yeah, it's just, yeah, so it's not necessarily an Aussie thing or a me thing. It's, you know, a lot of people obviously do not like working on their birthdays. So, but yeah, no, it's yeah. So I just thought I might as well go on. I thought if I do it sort of early enough, where both East and West Coast of the US and obviously anybody else around the world are around. I didn't want to. I was thinking about doing it like for me, it's 10:30 in the morning. I was thinking maybe I would do it sort of around sort of, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and I'm thinking, yeah, but probably by then a lot of the East Coast people would obviously be asleep. I know a lot of YouTubers don't sleep, but yeah, so no, it's all good. But yeah, if anybody actually does want to hop on, I'll put the link in the description below. I'm not very good at this live streaming stuff, but I'm learning, so I thought I'd bring out my have my coffee for this morning. That's my mug that I was actually given this by for my birthday. Oh god, I don't know, probably over 20 years ago, and it still survived, so it's all good and well. But yeah, the other thing I was sort of thinking of doing was maybe doing, I don't know, maybe a Q&A or something like that. You know, obviously if nobody decides to hop on, yeah. Thanks, boys. Yeah, I was always known in my younger days for having a little bit of a temper, unfortunately, but yeah, so thus the mug, but it's probably partly where the MadSpidey or the mad part of it came up. What's this? Picked up Batman animated series mug wrestling. Can never have enough coffee delivery. Yes. And that's the thing, like I've said to quite a few, oh, here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. What's up,
just don't take off your clothes, whatever you do.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah, I was so waiting for that.
I'm not Remy.
No, definitely not. Oh, if Remy hops on, I'm in big trouble.
Right,
I'm
Remy,
definitely in big trouble.
he'll come in no pants, no shirt, just aluminum hat.
Oh god.
Uh-oh.
No, definitely. So no, as I was saying, actually, when I mentioned it to this, I was talking about because I've actually brought out my mug that I've had for about 20 odd years.
Nice.
I was I was just saying that, like what I was saying to you the other day, is like a lot of American guests that we have come over here actually do prefer our coffee a lot more to what you guys do. Or to your coffee. I don't know whether that's just, a minority, obviously, but a lot of them do say that. So, but it's most of it's not, doesn't come from here anyway. It all comes from, overseas, usually like South America or something like that, and it's just made like, just put together here.
It's how you brew it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. How you brew it, how you deliver it. So
a lot of people know what they're doing when it comes to
exactly.
coffee.
Like I'm an instant coffee guy because we've got no. Yeah, I know you'd shudder at that. But we don't have anything fancy coffee machines here and that. We just have a kettle and so on and so forth. So nothing really fancy.
I use a drip machine. I don't use anything super fancy. I just have a Cuisinart drip coffee maker. But I do get picky when it comes to my beans, and I have a picky when it comes to my grinder. I have a very high-end grinder to make sure you have a very clean, consistent grind to your beans. Snickers flavored creamer and sugar. So that's how you ruin a coffee.
Oh, so you're a full black coffee man, obviously.
That's right. As God intended. If it was meant to have the other stuff, it'd come that way out of the bean.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm a milk. We obviously we have milk with milk and sugar, but yeah, and it's funny actually because like I know my folks, they both are coffee and tea drinkers. Neither of them have, like, when it comes to tea, they'll just have it just normal. But when it comes to coffee, they're both just milk. They don't have sugar or anything like that, like I do. But I know the missus, when she doesn't like coffee, but when she has a tea, she puts about 14 pounds of bloody sugar in it. And I'm like, what's the even point? When she just guzzle the sugar?
That means you got bad coffee. It's all bitter. And you're trying to cover it up. That's
it's one of those things. So
why taste coffee when you can taste the Snickers? Because if I want a Snickers, I'll just eat the Snickers instead of drinking coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Beckerman, wait, what if you took Snickers and ground it up and put that in your coffee filter and just brew that?
Oh no, I'm in trouble. That's the missus. Sorry,
it's not
13 pounds.
Well, you made a mistake in your conversion from kilos. That's your problem.
It's 14 kilos of sugar. Oh god, I can't believe she's actually watching.
It's your birthday, of course.
Yeah. Oh, I've already spoken to her and everything, obviously, because she's in ISO. But
yeah, well, what else is she gonna do? She's in isolation. She can come on and look at you and see what you say about her, and then call you out on it.
And that's exactly right. She'd be like, well, what did you say? What did you say about me? I'm like, I don't say anything bad. I just tell stories.
That's right.
So,
except for the other night when you were saying, "Oh wait, no,
we went." Oh no, that was off air. No. Yeah, I've said don't start with the ums. Yeah, I do say a lot, like especially in my pre-recorded videos. I'm not one of those guys that can sort of just rattle off. I always got to sort of say and then think and then say, and then I always go the ums and the ahs.
If you're speaking from a stream of consciousness for extended periods of time, it's difficult not to put in verbal crutches or fillers when you're trying to think of what you're going to say.
Yeah.
You're coalescing thoughts. There you go. We used to do, one of the things I used to do back when I was a radio working in radio, one of my jobs at one point was chief announcer at a college station. And what you would do when you were training to teach people is you would have a tape deck in, and because tape deck was pinnacle of technology still back then, and it would only come on when you hit the live mic button. And so if you were on for 4 hours, it would be nothing. nothing but all your breaks where you came on and talked, and you would hear all your verbal crutches, like, all right, that was, all right, that was, all right, that was, all right, that was. You're just like, oh, trying to break that and train that, but it takes effort,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking for a long period of time. If you're just doing 30-second clips and stuff, it's not as bad and it's easier to train, but filling long periods of time, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too, because like when I first started, because a guy at my work is another YouTuber actually, but he's a drummer in an In Excess tribute band, but he also plays in other bands and stuff like that as well. And he's got his own channel, of course, and he basically what he does is he's got a particular website. He picks like a song for the week or whatever like that, and then he will take that without the drums, and then obviously play the drums to every other part of that music, and then he edits it and puts it together and things like that. And he actually threatened me once. He's like, I'm going to make a compilation clip of all your ums and ahs, and that's going to be a very, very long video.
Tell him to pound sand. No one's paying me, so.
Hey, Trav.
Or for that matter, saying no one's forcing you to watch. You can.
Yeah, but like as you said, it's very hard because my brain has always been one of those ones where my brain goes a lot quicker than what my mouth does. So I'm trying to think of what I'm going ahead with, but the voice seems to come out about 4 steps behind.
And you're listening to it. So you're listening to what you're saying while you're trying to think about what you're going ahead on. And anybody who's trying to read in a room with a lot of not just noise, but people speaking while you're trying to read, it's very difficult. Or when you've heard that echo, when there's an echo and you're trying to talk, it's so hard, right? It's the same thing. You get it a little bit. And talking stream of conscious is just, for extended periods of time, it's going to be challenging for most people, unless you even if you rehearse what you're going to do. That's why even actors and everything else, they do small segments at a time. Nobody's doing long shots. Hey, would you record this 45-minute monologue, please?
Yeah, no, I could never do that. Like, because I was always one of those stage fright kind of people. Like, even in like high school and things like that, I could never get up in front of the class. I knew exactly what I wanted to say because it was all up here. But as soon as I got in front of the class, I'd be all ums and ahs and stutter and mutter, and I just could not ever do it. And I still to this day, I cannot do it. Yeah. That's why a lot of my mates have known me a lot longer. Obviously, are like, I can't believe you actually have a YouTube channel. Like you wouldn't think you'd be able to do it, but for some strange reason, I've been able to do it. So.
Yeah, the one thing I used to love when I was working in scouting with kids was you'd start them off like 6 or 7 years old in the youngest levels of scouting, and you'd bring them up in front of everybody to do these skits and stuff, and they wouldn't be very long, but it would, people don't understand there's a purpose to it all. It's like you get them up in front of people and they start to do a thing, and at first they're like, looking away from the crowd, they're super quiet and soft and no one can hear, but through repetition of doing that and the silly songs and the other stuff to go along with it, all of a sudden, in 2 or 3 years, you've seen kids or the same kids yelling and screaming, and he's jumping out in front of people during the skit and he's making himself the thing. And then by the time they hit high school, they have that confidence and stuff. They're the ones who go, yeah, no, I'll read my paper first. I don't care. They get up and go read their papers and they go do stuff. And then they'll take charge of the small groups and all these things. It's just little pieces that you build up and develop over time that make it a great program.
And I think that's what it was. It was always a confidence thing for me, but I never grew out of it. I always, like, obviously, like, I was a very quiet, shy sort of kid when I was younger.
But now you have beer.
Yeah. And I grew up, and then I'm, you started getting alcohol and all that sort of stuff, But,
and then I had beer.
Yeah. And then I had beer, and then I found bourbon, and then all sorts of things. So
that's right. So I'm good now. That's right.
Oh, like even to this day, like if I had to get up and do like a talk in front of a seminar or something, like in
Mhm.
a group of people that are physically there, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. It's even the most, I would say the most veteran speaker still to some degree gets it.
mm,
Like I've spoken in front of all kinds of groups,
but
presented
that
in
one,
all kinds of things, and I will say, if it depending upon the group, I'll have different levels. Like when I was a scoutmaster, zero fear whatsoever
mm,
because or talking to other scouters because I know what I'm talking about vividly, and there's a certain level of just goofiness that's accepted in there, right? If I'm talking
mm,
in front of my team at work, no problem. Leading stuff, teaching stuff, this type of stuff for small groups, no problem. If I have to sit in front of my C staff though, and I'm talking to the CEO and the CFO and the other stuff, you get a little bit nervous just because the stakes are higher, and it's
yeah,
it's all about where your level of stakes are. But it's
mm,
not that I still can't deliver to them. I'll go out there and I'll deliver no problem. I just
mm.
because I know at the end of the day they're just other people.
Yeah. But
And
you do have that subconscious added pressure though, that you're
yeah,
sort of like,
exactly.
okay,
It's
I do have to do what I want.
these are the important people, right? So I want to do that, even though at the end of the day, I they still put their pants on the same way,
Yeah.
unless
You're
they
definitely
figured
right.
something else out, how to put pants on differently.
Yeah, it's not like the what was it, the early 90s with crisscross and doing them back to front or
Oh
whatever it was.
God, I did not do that, thankfully.
No, neither did I. I did
I was way too old for that.
the like, or what we called baggy pants, the baggy
Sure,
jeans and stuff. Like we did all that sort of stuff, but yeah, on the normal way.
sure. You do certain things. Like we had for me was early on. I remember was peg roll pants. Doing the little fold over, and we'd peg roll. That was what they called
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah, the pants at the bottom in the 80s, and then
Mm.
um, to show off your shoes and stuff, and then later on the
God.
baggy pants or the Z Cavaricis and all those things came in, and then the
Mm.
and the cargo pants with the bugle boys came in, and then the baggy pants and all that other stuff. And now I'm just an old man, so I can wear cargo shorts all the time, and it
Mm.
just makes me happy.
Mm. No,
Just
I've always tried that both, but it never works. Never works for me anyway. But yeah, now we just call it we just call them hipsters now, because obviously they wear like the the fancy shoes with no socks. They've got
yep.
their jeans rolled up or whatever like that, so you can see this much of their
Well,
ankles, and it's just
yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like they're going through. There's difference between like when we did it and peg roll, it went to the top of your shoes versus the stuff what they're doing where it's like they're going through a flood. It's like, but I would see them crossing the street, and I go one time looking at one of those hipsters going across the street with the peg with their version of the pig roll thing going and other stuff. And I'm looking at it and said, my dad was right. I did look like an idiot.
but we all succumb to fashion, all
Yeah.
all through our lives. Like, I remember, what we call primary school, which is sort of like grades 1 to 6 or
Yeah.
whatever like that. Like we all, like over here, we all grew the mullets and things like that because we're all into heavy metal and
Rat
stuff like
tails.
that. And
Rat tails were king in
rat tails were not big over here.
Yeah. This was 1980.
Oh my God. Go back to work. He is one of the electricians that has an account with our wholesaler or whatever like that. Go to some work, Pete. Come on. Oh, he's hopeless.
But this brings us all full circle to this is what happens now. You're older. Once again, another year around the sun, man.
Mm.
Now, one more time that you're that much further away from the youth and you can look at them and go,
I remember back in the day.
what a bunch of idiots.
Here's another
I
troublemaker.
couldn't have possibly been that dumb.
Hey,
G'day, mate.
happy birthday.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, yeah, now, mate.
Oh, don't say bloody Tyler.
Except for I can do it better than him because I actually lived near Wisconsin. Like, I even say Wisconsin kind of bad. Like, if I don't pay attention, I'll be like Wisconsin.
Oh, well, I will tell you, MadSpidey, your package got picked up about an hour ago.
Oh, awesome.
It is officially in transit.
Would you send him a birthday present?
We can say yes.
Well, so, yes, he did.
Yeah, he's getting a Rob Fat Stack shirt and a mug and a helmet, or not a helmet, a magnet, some stickers.
Well, I guess I should
a swag kit.
Since
I've always been one of those ones that I love giving gifts, but I'm always a little bit reserved about receiving gifts. Which is nothing. It's not nothing to sort of worry. Like if I get a gift, obviously I'm very grateful and things like that. But I've always been a giver more than a taker.
Well, I can understand that, because if somebody's putting on rubber gloves and they're snapping them and they're saying, "All right, it's time for you to receive your gift,"
you're like, I'll pass that.
I'll pucker up a little bit. Wow.
How many spots do I get on the free StreamYard?
6, I think. I don't know,
including myself.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since I've had the freebie one, but
I was actually thinking about it. I was sort of looking at it, and I'm like, I don't do enough streams to warrant paying the $25 a month or whatever it is, sort of thing.
Yeah, so, until you do, unless the duck in the corner really bugs you that much, then
I noticed that, and I'm like, I clicked on that, and I'm like, oh, it says add other image or something like that. So I clicked on that, and it's like, oh, upgrade your service. I'm like, no, forget it.
Yeah, you got to pay for that. Yeah, and hey, that's what happens, right? You use their software for free. You get to advertise for them. That's how it is. It's pay to play.
Which perfectly fine with. So that doesn't worry me. So what's going on, Becca?
I heard Becker's sending you a piece of OA for your birthday.
Nah.
No. Oh.
No, he's got everything I want. Why would I give him anything?
Well, because he doesn't necessarily have everything you have.
He's got all the freaking.
I bet you
he got all the books that I would have to send him.
Come on, he doesn't have a Night Thrasher, I'm sure.
Oh, I bet he does.
Yeah, there is a Night Thrasher on the one he specifically wants.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I sort of tried to.
He's a Spidey guy, and I don't have a lot of Spider-Man stuff,
Yeah. There's I
mean,
where would I even find books like that he would want?
Oh, you're a bastard. I do want that book.
You could win one in the Dorkeries box.
I know. I watched that video and I'm like, damn. And it's all raw books this time. There's no slabs this time, and I'm like, I'm going to be interested to see what the price is. But
yeah, I know this is going to be a lot. Are you sure?
The problem is
this book is rough though.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I do not care.
No, I'm going to send it away, so I do. If there's tape on it, what's that, Rob? What does that do?
It's going to limit you to like a 2. I think a 2.
I think this is a 2 candidate though. Like
it's like that would be the high end, depending on how much.
Can you make me big, Spidey? I want Rob to look at this.
I got to work out how to do that. I'm not very good at this. What do I click on?
There's different layouts across the bottom, or you can right click the top corner.
You can just send Rob pictures. I just have a question about one specific spot.
Yeah. So. You can do that on the top right corner of his window. There should be like a hamburger icon that comes up, like 3 dots, and you can click on it, and it should make solo layout or something.
Solo layout. Whoa!
Hey, how you doing there?
Wow.
How you doing? Oh yeah.
Well, this is easy on the eyes.
I know, right?
So I go in this one. Oh no, this is way too hard.
Now he's stuck, and that's it.
I'm stuck, and I don't know.
There you go. Now all you have to do from here is just click on his window and drag it to where you're at.
Okay. No, that didn't work.
Are you doing it on your phone or something?
No, it's on the MacBook, but I'm so not used to MacBooks.
Yeah, it should be just click. It should be just click and drag.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, I've got no idea. I'll work it out one day.
All right, you send me pictures, but ultimately, that's the high end tape will limit you to, but
Thanks,
Even
mate.
still, that book in like a 1.5 or something is
That's
like
shot up.
I think I can get a 2 out of it.
Yeah.
There's no chunks out of the corners. The biggest issue it has, and this is what I wanted you to look at, is that spot.
Staining,
Mhm.
discoloration.
And it's a little bit of a split there, but it doesn't hit the spine.
It's a square bound too, so it's
I think it could be a 2.
It maybe.
What about coupons cut out or any of that sort of stuff?
Nothing. It's complete.
It's complete.
Yeah. So fortunately, tape on it won't count as restoration anymore. So you get blue label on that. It's just going to limit the high end. So you're probably looking at a 1.5 to a 2, and that's still hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. And I told you what I paid for it, so I'm above. I've got $100 in it, so
yeah. Oh, you're good. You're gold.
I wish I could find that book for $100.
It was bundled with a bunch of other stuff during the summer.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, last night I saw an ASM 299 go for £48.
So in the UK. Wow. Yeah, well that was exactly like I was part of the auction where Jungle Action, I can't remember, the first Killmonger.
Okay.
And that went for $900 on a YouTube online auction. This was about 12 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. And like my max bid was like $100 because that's all I could afford on that book. And it ended up going for $900. I won't say what channel it was and who bought it. But I jumped on eBay straight away, and I actually bought a US copy from the UK for £50 or £60. Like obviously it was a lot rougher than the one that was on sale.
Right.
But I didn't care. I'm like, if that book's going for that money, I jumped on eBay straight away and got it for like a tenth of the price.
That particular ASM 299 had a bad corner, but it was probably maybe a 5.56 if it got hammered really hard on that corner. And even still, at that, it was worth 48 pounds. I mean, come on. The only reason why it wasn't to me was because I missed the time that it ticked off, A, and B, they wanted another 30 pounds shipping.
Well, that's the funny thing, because from the UK, like you guys are closer to the UK, I think, geographically than what we are.
Yes, definitely, because New York would be, at least the eastern part of the United States is.
Yeah.
I may not be, but...
Because I've bought a couple of books from the UK, like just one book, and it's cost us £10 to £12, which is about 20, 22. It's just a little bit under double.
But did you ever have open rebellion against the United Kingdom and take up arms against them?
No.
So they like you more than us.
Well, we're pretty much all there, bloody convict immigrants anyway. So
that's true. They cast you out, we cast them out. See, tomato. They. I don't know. I don't even know if that was actually what it should cost or not. I just know that's what they were stating they were going to charge it was. And since that's not a favorable, one of the few countries I don't have a favorable exchange rate with, that meant it's even more. So
it's probably better than ours.
I had to feel your pain.
Yeah. Because ours is literally like 52 or 53 cents on the dollar. So you could basically say we're paying double of whatever it is.
I'm used to dealing with buying stuff from Canada where it's cheaper than what it says. So,
well, our exchange, it's funny, our exchange.
Spidey.
Oh, nice.
There's your guy.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm so glad I finally picked up that book.
I was glad you did too.
But like the funny thing is, like as I was saying, that our exchange rate with Canada is actually a lot better. Like ours is up in the late 80s or 90 cents almost with Canada, so it's almost close dollar for dollar.
Yeah, because
that's a Commonwealth thing, I think too.
Oh, it just happens to be the way it is.
Mm.
CAD to AUD. Yeah, they're Canadian dollars, $1.09 Australian
Mm.
versus when I go Canadian dollar to the US dollar, Canadian dollar is only worth 79 cents to our dollar. So that by equation, that means there's about a 30-cent swing between the US and Australia.
Mm. Yeah, I usually sort of just work it out and just go like times 1.3 or 1.4.
Right, 1.3 would be exactly 30 points, which is what I would say right now, just based off looking at those two. So there you are. Exactly. See.
Hey,
Welcome to currency talk.
Yeah.
And you thought you came here to say happy birthday to MadSpidey, but what's up?
I have one more question for you, Rob. Now, when my buddy was going to do an op with George Perez,
yes,
he couldn't do CBCS because Clan McDonald was the exclusive for witnessed signatures for CBCS with George due to their relationship. Now, if I have books I got signed years ago by George, I can still send them to CBCS for verified, right? I don't have to go through Steve.
Correct.
That's just for if I had gotten it signed.
For the live witnessed for the
which it's the same color label, so I don't really care.
Right. It's just whether it says verified versus witnessed is all on the label now.
And really, I should have sent them off at the time, but I was still I was kind of like MadSpidey back then. I didn't want any of my books slabbed. And I was like, I'll just do a couple to remember. And I didn't even send my best candidates. I sent the ones I actually didn't care about as much. Because I was like, I might just crack them out anyway.
Right.
I had no idea if I would leave them in or not.
Yeah.
I didn't realize George Perez did any New Warriors.
He actually redesigned Firestar's outfit and brought 2 new warriors into the Avengers. So maybe check your facts, Slick.
Well, he didn't say he didn't. He said he didn't know.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did a couple crossovers with the Avengers.
Oh, okay, nice.
MadSpidey, definitely not mad. Knows anything about Marvel?
Wow.
I never proclaim to know a lot. I always say that I know a lot about a little. Hang on. A little about a lot, not a lot about a little.
No.
I know a little about a lot, and I know a lot about nothing.
But yeah, his redesign of Firestar's outfit actually then crossed over into New Warriors Volume 1. And I hated it. I always liked the classic yellow on her and that stupid bomber jacket. Everybody was getting bomber jackets by the late 90s, mid 90s there. Like, what is
blame
this?
Liefeld for that.
You got to remember the members only jacket had already been worn out, so I had to go something else. Right?
Yeah, because I remember all the like X Factor and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're all wearing like Havoc and Polaris and all that sort of stuff. They're all wearing bomber jackets and yeah, it was the end thing at the time.
The ladies were wearing bomber jackets with no pants, just bikini bottoms and
there were some.
Yeah, but I didn't mind that though.
Boots that go up to your knees or past your knees.
So yeah, like there, I've got.
Oh, I still need that book too.
Yeah.
I could have bought that at the small con I went to, but I was so eyeing off that Mephisto, and I'm like, I can't buy. I could have bought that and a few other books, but I went, nah, I need to grab that Mephisto. And
I think how many? I just think it's so funny. For years, that book was a very reasonable key.
Oh yeah,
over there.
Oh, it was never over where you're at?
You like literally, I reckon I've seen that book, you could count on one hand the amount of times I've seen that over here. It's not, it's like, obviously, like if I go on eBay, there's heaps of listings, but actually seeing it in the wild over here is very rare. Like a lot of old big keys. Unfortunately, we don't have the back issue sort of influx that you guys have.
Wolfman and Perez.
Yeah.
Perez, sorry. and another Wolfman and Perez. Or actually,
That's a nice cover.
just Perez. I think George was free and Wolfman was charging by the end.
Yeah, no, but yeah, you can send them to CBCS and just for
Hey, Sean, thanks,
authentication, mate. And they'll give you the yellow labels as verified signature.
He heard me talk about the convention that I went to, and that's the man. That's mine and Simon's friend. He's the one that actually ran a small convention.
Power pack.
Bangers.
You see, there's today was I was contemplating. Trinity's got they're setting up a commission list with EG guys, or what is it? What's his name? God damn it! Now I know I'm remembering the name wrong.
Yeah, because doesn't if Becker and I don't know the artist, then we're really struggling.
Oh, for who?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull back up again. It's EM Geist. Guest.
Okay. I haven't heard of him, but Becker might have.
Why do I keep knocking my camera out? What the hell?
You've never heard of him either. Okay.
I should switch to my personal computer and get off my work computer. My camera gets all funky.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Like, I know there's a lot of artists I've never heard
Banger.
of.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be back.
I love the old school Defenders.
I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna switch computers.
Banger.
All right.
This is first Marvel boy, Mansis Strovich, who becomes Justice on the New Warriors.
Oh yeah, yep. As I said, I know a little about a lot, but like my and that's the thing. Like because I've turned into a collector more than a reader, I don't know as much as I should, and that's why I refer to like people or apps and things like that to try and sort of look. Even like now that I'm finally scanning all my books, I'm sort of just looking and it comes up like with the little on the CLZ app.
You know a lot about art and you know a lot about Spider-Man, and I mean we all got our wheelhouse. For me, it's like Marvel and then like 90s.
Yeah.
If your question happened within like 1989 to 1998, I'm your guy.
Yeah, whereas the funny thing is like, yeah, my knowledge is spread across, but I don't know enough about newer stuff. And that's why I tend to refer to online sort of things to get more knowledge or to get info on things.
The only thing that annoys me about CBCS, though, Rob, is why the hell do they do if I have a remark on a book, why does it say signature by so-and-so and, remark in sketch? Like, they won't verify the sketch. Even though, like, in this case, it's connected to the dang signature.
It's probably because a remark is obviously a lot harder to verify than what a signature can be.
But I mean, come on, it's connected.
Yeah. I honestly don't know why, other than that I would assume that it just has to do with that they do signature verification. That's what they're saying that they do, nothing else. Because I just sent in, like, I got notification stuff coming back, and it should be my sketch covers. I had sent in like 5 sketch covers, and they're going to come back and they'll be, verified signature. But I was like, well, why would the artist sign a blank book and not put anything on there, or sign somebody else's artwork? But whatever, I don't care. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Go back to work, Simon.
I think you get people who if you try to authenticate the art, it's a little bit harder, so they just make it a simple way of saying, look, we're only authenticating the signature. But who will authenticate the art, though, for you? And it'll probably be, you got a 50-50 shot of being it right. It's PGX.
I don't know.
The bottom of the barrel.
Verified the wrong freaking signature.
Well, they've all done that, but that's the. That's the thing with verification, right? Unless you're watching it. Yeah. The question is it still better than a COA? I say it is, because COA don't mean crap.
Right.
Anybody can print out a COA.
Well, not only can some of the COAs literally
Banger.
are not much more than that, but
Banger.
I can take a COA and swap it out with onto another book, or make copy. It's like Golden Apple's COA is so bad. It just simply says like, this book was signed by the person whose name is on it, or something like. It's like it doesn't even tell you who it is or what the book title is, the issue number, nothing. And so some COAs are worse than others, but
yeah, it's hard. It's like I mentioned before, like I've got a lot of what we call like canvas prints, which is the technical term is G clay, which is basically done. It's a very small run of art. They're not actually buying original, but it is very.
It's a print.
Yeah, it's basically it is a print.
Yeah. I just got one.
My issue with it is I get the paper quality is far and away. The quality of the print is far and away better. But there was a point in time when those J clays were so popular with certain, like your Alex Rosses and stuff, that you could get those for like the same price he was charging for prelims, or they were a little bit more. And I don't understand that. Like, I could have a prelim done in pencil by the man, but the J clay print is like, I think when I bought my prelims from him, the prelims were 100 and the J clay was like 200. Why would I pay double for a print?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I have quite a few. Because before I really got into the actual original art game, I did actually buy a lot. And I do have a shop over here that is the exclusive distributor for Marvel, Alex Ross, Warner Brothers. He gets all the cartoon sales and all that sort of stuff. Where Mrs. and I have been customers and friends of his for a long time. And what I was sort of getting to is I actually bought it from the States, and it was a framed sort of big compilation of all Marvel characters sort of thing. And it was supposed to be signed, I think, by like George Perez. Who else was it signed by? What's his name? I've drawn a blank. He's more of a Superman guy.
Jurgens?
Yeah, Jurgens. And there was another couple of signatures on there. I looked at the COA and I'm like, this just looks really, really dodgy. Like somebody's just printed this out on a crappy inkjet printer. I literally actually ripped out all the this dodgy frame job too. I got rid of all the frame and stuff like that and actually looked at it, and all of them were not originally signed. They were all just printed in the print like that. And I'm like, I ended up throwing it out. I'm like, this is just pointless. Crappy frame, no original signatures, because all the G clays I have are all original signatures and verified signatures. So like my favorite one that I have it's a John Romita Spider-Man, the one where he's like sitting up on the tower in the rain. Very famous sort of image.
Junior.
Yeah, but this is actually signed by Junior and Senior and remarked by Junior. And there's only 25 of them in the world.
Nice. Now that's cool.
Yeah. So something like that, you're like, I won't say how much I paid for it, but something like that, I still think, even though somebody goes, oh, but that's just a print. I'm like, to me, that is exceptionally good. And especially seeing there's only 2 of them in Australia. Yeah, get away, you bastard. So like it's each to their own, but I've slowed down a lot with the G clays and stuff now. I'm not buying them as much, and I'm focusing more on books at the moment. I'm not actually buying much original art at the moment either. Even though it's probably because I'm paying off a big lot or a big expensive lot from the UK at the moment.
Who can afford art right now? It's getting so stupid out there.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I remember. Well, take for argument's sake, obviously, 8, 9, 10 years ago, whatever it was. That Derek Robinson piece, I paid $250 Australian for
which
full
was
11 by
probably like
17.
$50 American at that point.
Yeah.
Start giving
but
these
like that
away.
for 3 full size characters on 11 by 17 penciled and inked is like, you would not even get that from a, you know, some guy in the artist alley you've never heard of.
Yeah, that, I don't know. It's just different now. It's just different, and
Thanks, mate.
I feel behind the times.
It's all reps now. Like, reps have always been around, but even more so now that everybody's getting their extra cut on top of things, and it's getting harder and harder and harder.
But with some of these artists, I'd rather deal with the rep, man.
But in saying that, like with some guys or some artists that have bad reputations of taking too long, taking money, not delivering and things like that, so that's when the reps actually come good. That's actually a good idea. Even if they do take an extra 10, 20%, they're the ones that are seeing them, talking to them all the time. Have you done that piece? Have you done that piece? You need to get it done. You've been paid for. They give them a kick in the ass, basically. So it's a good idea in that aspect. That's why I think bloody El Garza needs a bloody rep. But that's another story altogether.
Yeah, dude, nice guy, but just do what you say you're gonna do.
Well, there's a guy in because I don't know whether you know the channel Comic Books NYC. That's Carvey's channel. He does an original art hour, so he gets on. Like, actually, I reckon you'd be perfect for it. He will basically put on like an hour show dedicated. It'll just be him and you, and he'll make you big, and you just show off your pieces, tell the stories, and all that sort of stuff.
Slab Hub, but for art.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'd rather be on Slab Hub, which I am, and
yeah, that's right.
April
Coming up
next
month or something.
Yeah. So, but there's a guy, because obviously we have a group chat.
Better
for the
not be
guys that have
during
been on there.
Planet Comic Con.
Let me take a look, because I remember thinking, I think you're coming up soon enough that I have to actually start to put together the artwork for your
thumbnail.
You want me to pose nude for that thumbnail?
No, that would be the best, but it doesn't have to be.
Just show my face, though. I just want the confidence of when I'm nude, though.
That's right. Just the boat from the bow tie up.
Yep.
Oh, my calendar. I'm on. What do I Google? I don't have to Google anything. I just need to look at my calendar, my production schedule.
But like, as I say, like one of the guys in that group, he's been waiting for about 4 years or 5 years or something for El Garza.
That's so not cool, man.
Nah,
at least like Strowman got a rep. My guy Ken is helping him get deadlines met, get people.
He was another serial one like that. And like, I'd love a Strowman piece because he's still really reasonable and cheap, and you know, and he's still a legend in the game. Nobody can deny that.
He's got good work, but
yeah,
I wouldn't let him out of my sight at a con. No. Like, I'll give you money and you give me a sketch, and I'm not letting you take it home.
And that's probably the good thing, that if he did ever come here, or if I saw him over there or something like that, he quite often has a lot of pre-done pieces, and he does Spidey quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I'd be more inclined to just
his
go.
Spidey pre-dones. I'm going to see him in like April. Do you want me to grab one for you?
If he's got any. Yeah, definitely. Because they're still like $150.
Yeah. I think he's going to be. Well, I think he might be at Planet.
So you'll see Beckerman on Slab Hub on March 26th.
Oh, that sounds like me.
He's like, yeah, that's the right
I
one.
thought it was March 26th.
Almost. It's the last Saturday in March. So
yeah,
it's almost
March 26th is like the March 26th of April, you know.
Right. It's the first Slab Hub after my 25th anniversary.
Oh my gosh, the fat stacks are in it for 25 years.
marriage. Yeah, been together. We started dating in high school, man.
I seem to hear that a lot over there. That like oh yeah, we were
it's
high
not
school
very.
sweethearts.
It's actually not
or...
very common. It's
Oh, that's it.
but you do hear some stories like that, because like the Dorkeries are even worse. Those kids knew each other since kindergarten.
Oh God.
I mean, we talked to them, and it was like, my God, those two have been together for like ever. And they didn't start dating in kindergarten, obviously, but
So they might have done the old I'm gonna marry you sort of thing. Like
they were telling a story about growing up together that like Drew had Farrah playing G.I. Joe or something, and she would go along with it, and then he had to play Barbies with her and stuff like that.
They do like when they do their videos, because obviously I've watched quite a few of their videos and spoken to Drew quite a bit and stuff like that. Yeah, it's actually quite sickening how
it's a lot of
they play off each other.
It's a lot of saccharine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to see what I'm sending free energy?
Sure.
I found, so like, Spidey, sometimes when you order art, you'll get like, especially from reps, you'll get like a couple books thrown in.
Or prints or something like that.
Yeah, stuff with prints. Well, I had a True Believer thrown in on some Joe Sinnott art that I bought, and it was signed by Joe. And I just put it away and forgot about it. And
there you go.
I came across
I almost had a heart attack then. I thought that was the original.
Oh, no.
I almost had a heart attack.
True Believers. I'm not that nice. I ain't giving up my F5.
I was going to say, I will send you the Derek Robinson piece and anything else you want if you can send me that original book.
But anyway, so that's going to free energy.
I got about 5 facsimiles.
Beautiful. I love the old school guys that signed in pen. Always respect.
Ballpoint pen.
Yeah, that was definitely an old guy thing.
Everything's markers and Sharpies and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, everybody's markers.
Paint pens.
Were you guys on the banter where I told the story about the god-awful Brian Michael Bendis where he drew all over my alias number 1?
No. I
think I might have vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so what it was I asked for, he had marker choices. I was like, can I get that one? And he does it in the wrong color and then realizes it afterwards. And then he does it again. And he's like, well, now I got all this stuff on your book. So then he draws this weird, like outline of a woman. And says, that's Jessica Jones. And then he gives it to me. So I've just got scribbles all over my book.
And you're like,
that is worse.
Thanks.
I just got that Jim Lee pencil back in all the book because it was already slabbed, so they had to cracked it open. It's got all kinds of empty space, and frickin' Jim Lee signs across the middle of his own art. I'm like, this is a pencil sketch.
These guys' heads
no, why would you sign? So then Alex and Scott sign right next to him because that's what the fuck?
All right.
What about all this white spot?
I really wish
find out. So this is the original one he did in black that I did not want done in black. Then he does the gold I asked for. And then, just because he's freaking nuts,
he draws a Peanuts character on it.
Yeah. What the hell? And this is kind of a key issue. This is first Jessica Jones.
Oh, God.
It's like, dude, you scribbled all over my book.
And that's why I think thanks, Digger Jim. And that's why I think that I'm not a big signature guy. I'll get one if if I feel it or I have the book on me or something like that. But
I don't even know what that book goes for, but it really annoyed me.
Yeah, I'm not I don't know of that off the top of my head. But
this is mail call.
Oh, that's right. I finally got my package from Slim.
What the hell is this?
I might as well open it up while I'm here.
I have no idea what this is. This is a little big to be a comic book.
Priority Mail Express. Yeah, take that out. I haven't got anything to cut into.
Okay, it ain't worth that. It's not worth that much.
No,
This is
like still a good book, obviously, to have. But
this is like for sending records, and I don't know what. I think I know what it is, but no.
I'll be back. I need something to cut into this.
Hey, you need a knife? No. This is really interesting. So inside is like, again, this big, huge, it's taped. God, I hate when people do that. You put a little piece of tape in the middle and tape this to a big box. So the only way you can get to it is to like lift a corner. It's the worst thing. Absolute the worst.
Yeah, it's quite good that this actually turned up late yesterday.
See, I can do this because I don't think anybody would care about. I can still put some on.
Make sure there's nothing else in there. All right.
Don't you feel like you should be opening up with President Beckerman?
I do.
All right.
Oh,
Right.
it's old newsprint.
Oh, he sent me extras.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. How do I?
This isn't good.
Hey, Digger Jim.
Spidey.
Oh, nice.
Send it to him for his birthday.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, I've already got that.
This was one of two that I have left on my run that's above issue 30. So it was all I kept finding them that were like really.
What do you got left that you need?
I have
Are you almost done?
I have 95, and then everything else is under 30. There's like 13 books. Most of issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 14, 15, 17, something like that.
All right. MadSpidey, thank you for your support. Enjoy your books and congrats to you. All the best, Sean. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My first community note. Yay.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Okay. All right. What's these extra books he sent me? All these.
That is some nice old newsprint, I tell you.
Fathom?
There's nothing like it.
I don't know anything about these books because I'm a Marvel guy, but I do appreciate it. So Fathom.
I hear people talk about it.
Mm.
Don't know much about it personally, but
Sent me one book or two books in there. No, it's just a very thick book. It was one of those Stray Dogs books.
all right.
I don't know anything about Stray Dogs either. I've heard of it, obviously, but
yeah, something about a bunch of dogs. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think they have a home.
And this is the book that I actually won.
Oh, the Demon
It's
Days. Very good.
Signed by, speaking of signatures, signed by Jenny Frizen, right on the boob.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Slim. Beautiful. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting any extras in there, but very much appreciated.
Community notes are amazing and a collection of their own.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's my first one. Yes, and even handwritten, not typed or anything.
Oh, sure. Now you're killing me.
Hey, it's the thought that counts. It's got nothing to do with the delivery.
I was
I went back and I was like, oh, it started to like had everything in the box, and I started to tape up the box. I should probably put some kind of note in there or whatever. At least your note's different than the rest of them. The rest of them all get the same note repeated.
Yeah, my note just said, "Dear occupant."
We regret to inform you that you're being evicted.
Your coffee creamer sucks. Sincerely, Rob's Fat Stacks.
Thanks, Sean. Take care, mate. We'll catch up soon.
There's almost little funnier in this world than when somebody's trying to get ready to take the dog out to go to the park or whatever, and the dog knows what's going on, and they're trying to get the dog in the leash and the harness and whatnot, and that dog is just going all so hilarious. Yeah, those are packages from Mom. Anyways, this is exciting. Did Spidey freeze?
I don't know.
I lost Wi-Fi for a second. There we go.
I just thought he was trying to hold that beautiful smile as long as he could.
I was like,
I don't want to know what face I was pulling. Oh God.
It was kind of like a Walmart photo from like 1997. Like,
did I have baggy pants on?
Couldn't tell.
Yeah,
it was a great pose. We'll have to go back and snip it.
Lovely. Yeah, unfortunately, because I've got no, besides my phone, I've got no internet at home or anything like that. I should set that up at some point. So I'm just hotspotting at the moment. So
yeah, that gets kind of funky, especially as your phone gets hot.
Uh-oh, here's trouble.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Otherwise, I'd do it in person. It's all right. We've heard it all before.
I'm embarrassed for America just thinking about Nick doing it. So,
as I said, it is one of the better impressions. I have heard a lot of really crap ones.
Yeah,
I need to learn how to do an American accent.
His is very Steve Irwin-esque. Like, I always expect him to like be crouched in a plant or something as he's doing it.
Yeah, that's the only
Crikey.
That's the only one I do is when I try to do a Steve Irwin thing. He's used to.
Like even my accent is obviously it's very Australian. Like a lot of people say, like I jumped on Old Wolf's Hangout one last night for a little bit, and he goes, Simon's got a fake Australian accent because yours is way like recognizable as an Australian accent. And but when you look at Steve Irwin, like his is like
exaggerated.
Really. But that's the thing. In real life, he's like that too. He's like that 24/7, or he was, should I say, like that all the time.
Well, you said in life, he's like that all the time.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. Like it's almost like he's on speed or something like all the time.
Right. And he was always doing stuff with animals that you shouldn't do. And so I was like, I mean, I remember him sitting there going like, who's in Africa or something with a black mamba. He's all, it's a black mamba. And he's like fucking whipping it like a goddamn fucking bullwhip every time the head would come to him. Oh, yeah, that'll calm it down. Just freaking whip it.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin's all well and good, but if I'm going to imitate an Australian, it's going to be the greatest Australian actor of all time, Paul Logan. I think he's like a national celebrity there. Right?
I thought you were going to say Hugh Jackman then, but
is he on your guys' money or say he should be?
Well, you get Hugh Jackman. You guys get
dude. He was in Crocodile Dundee 3.
Russell Crowe, isn't he?
And this is the thing.
Who cares about that hack?
There's a lot of so-called Australians or adopted Australians that are actually, a lot of them are New Zealanders. Russell Crowe's actually born and raised in New Zealand, came across here when he was a young kid.
He's a Kiwi. Got it.
Yeah, it's all Australia to us. We're not going to try to differentiate the islands.
Oh, there's a big difference. One has a lot of sheep and one not so many.
What did they do to the sheep? That there's not so many left.
They turned them into cows.
Oh.
There are
That'll
a
happen.
lot more cattle in Australia. They have more room.
New Zealand is like our Canada.
Oh, so you guys like make fun of it? Nice.
Yeah, like screwing sheep and and all that sort of
but
stuff.
They're good. But at the end of the day, you're still good friends. So
yeah. So
Lord of the Rings was filmed there. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, and you can actually go, like, they've still got a small town like as a tourist attraction that was actually used in the filming, like the Hobbiton thing. You can just go and actually go and like check it out.
Yeah, I don't walk on vacation.
Yeah, and it's not exactly next to the city apparently either. It's it's something like
unless you want to put me in a rickshaw and drag me around it, I'm not going.
Well, you'd have to probably, depending on how tall you are, apparently you'd actually have to like literally go on your knees to actually go inside any of the rooms.
I'll be fine. I can stretch in there.
I'll just lie on the ground, roll me in there.
Becker's gonna come in like Godzilla.
If those dwarves fit in there, I'll be fine.
What we used to do is I used to always envision, like, wanted to see like Steve Irwin say something like, but soaking my testicles in chum and dangle them in shark-infested waters. Oi, what a feeding frenzy that was! Just like,
yeah, he had some real good sort of, and it wasn't one-liners. It was like nearly everything he said. It was like you could just clip it and use it.
Yeah, he's like, you're like, oh, what? Yeah. Really? Dangling his kids over crocodiles and shit. And
that's the thing. Yeah, they were all bought up around the crocodiles at Australia Zoo, and that's one thing I regret. I've only been up to Queensland a couple of times, and I've never actually been to Australia Zoo because it's a lot further up from the main sort of like from Brisbane and Gold Coast and that, which is the main touristy parts. So and the higher up you go, the hotter it gets too, which I don't really like too much.
So is it like the States where you can tell by how people sound like where in Australia they're from?
Not really. It's more sayings and things like that. Like Queenslanders, so like where Lee from Wet Comics is if they're a real traditional Queenslander, they say "a" at the end of a sentence quite a bit. So like it's like, I'm going down to the shops, like that. And I think Canadians do that a little bit as well.
Yeah, very Canadian of them.
Yeah. So, but that's not as big a thing as what it used to be. They don't do it as much because they're aware of it a lot more now.
Because you guys made fun of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Any good thing. Affectation.
You find and it also depends on, like, obviously city versus regional, which you guys probably have too as well, is that it becomes a lot more like Aussies use a lot of weird sayings and colloquialisms and things like that. So the more regional you go or countryside you go, the more thicker the accent is and the more that they use those sort of terms where you're like, it'd be like an American going over to Scotland or Ireland and trying to understand a word they say.
Oh, the Scottish especially.
Yeah.
Those fuckers. Holy cow.
Mm.
Yeah, no, for us, it's the deep South is like that. They have a lot of different sayings, and especially if you get into Louisiana. Where you get into Louisiana, where you're going to have all the mixed Cajun stuff, that gets really, really out there.
Mm. Go on, say it.
Hi, Spidey.
He's rolling.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Spidey.
Thanks, mate.
Oh,
there's another one now.
Happy birthday, sir.
I just hopped on quick to wish my homie happy birthday.
Oh, he's so respectful right now.
I am.
He's got to do it at least once a year.
What time is it? What time is it in Australia right now?
It's about 20 to 12 in the middle of the day.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. You got 12 hours and 21 minutes
of niceness.
Yeah.
And in approximately 12 hours and 22 minutes.
12 hours, 21 minutes, and 1 second. Look, I'm even going to click like right now. Gonna go head back with the family, but I wanted to wish my YouTube family happy birthday.
Take it easy, Nick.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Hey, my boy Free Energy is on Roscoe and Chris's 30 minutes.
All right, right on.
Awesome.
Peace, homies. You having birthday cake at least?
Yeah, probably tonight.
They don't have cake in Australia.
Tonight. Tonight.
Only have They have upside down cake.
Tonight.
Just like the toilet going the wrong way around.
Yeah.
He's having some cake tonight.
So it didn't last long, did it?
No, I didn't say it.
He said he was going to be nice.
That's just how he talks.
Yeah.
That's how we say cake in Brooklyn.
That's right.
I got to learn how to do an American accent. I really do.
Later, people.
Thanks, mate.
I'm telling you, if you're going to do one, Nick's accent is the easiest. That New York accent, like.
Let me tell you, when they're not all the same. I mean, remember, you got Long Island. That's like a whole nother country. They have that Long Island drawl. I used to hand New York, Boston, and Hartford when I worked for the phone company. You get to talking to those Boston guys, they'd be like, "Listen, we're going down to the harbor.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the boat out on the harbor."
Spidey, you got to learn to do the British accent, or the Boston accent.
Boston accent.
Boston accent I can usually pick.
I just feel like if you're doing a Nick, though, he literally spells it out for you whenever he comes into a chat.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. You know what I mean? Like, he spells it for you.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
So I had a roommate in college who's from Boston.
Oh.
His favorite saying was, he used to say, like, and a part of me, he said, "Girls ain't had cack till they had Boston cack."
That's right. That's it.
Wow.
Oh, they used to make fun of me so bad because I used to say y'all a lot. Y'all, listen up. This is what we're gonna do today. And they're like, y'all, what the hell is a y'all? And I'm like, that's real English, not that Yankee stuff you got up there.
Well,
but you know what?
It's all the old ladies going, sweetie and hun and sugar, and
the Boston guys figured out real quick, because what I did is I processed their sales orders, and that's how they got paid back then. And they talked to my supervisor, and they were like, what does Jim drink when you guys go out? And he was like, yeah, he likes gin. He's a big gin guy. I swear to you, like a week later, a case of Tanqueray gin was sitting at my desk from the guys in Boston. And they made sure that it was, a big card on it. They were like, we just wanted to show you how much we appreciate you. And so immediately they're like, okay, let me put your shit at the top of the pile. You'll be processed, because those New York guys never gave me jack. And then they'd be like, well, we don't understand. I'm like, hey, you got to pay to play, buddy.
Probably my introduction to Boston accent was what's the Matt Damon movie with Robin Williams?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. That was my introduction to the Boston accent.
It's a great movie. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant movie.
Great movie.
But, I'll learn one day.
Ben Affleck's got an Oscar for writing, and so does Sylvester Stallone. I'm an idiot.
Come on, Spidey, you can write something.
They know to write.
Get it out there.
Means that you don't have to be able to talk.
Right.
I mean, if that deserves to be on a poster for failing upwards. Like, God, the two guys that you would.
But let's be honest, though. Rocky is a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Rocky's a great movie.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting is a great movie. I'm not disputing that they didn't both do fine acting work. But come on, if you've ever heard those guys talk in interviews, would you be like, oh yeah, that guy will win an Oscar for writing?
Well, I mean, who's to say that they wrote it all by themselves either? I mean, they might have somebody.
There's heavy rumors that Damon had that script for years.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it could be. I mean, but him and Affleck were like this, so who knows? They might have worked on it together.
I'll just write my name on it with you.
Kevin Smith worked with him. But Sylvester Stallone has, as I recall, has actually an auditory issue or something that affects. There's some reasoning for his speech the way it is, not
Right.
that, or he's partially. Or maybe his ball was he had something. I can't remember if it's a hearing issue that caused him like that, or if it's something like a partial paralysis of his face or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some type of jaw issue, maybe. Yeah.
And the reason for it, you guessed it, Frank Stallone. Rest in peace, Norm.
Look, this was my mail call.
Ooh,
I know they've been played out, but I bought this off of Mark because he's looking to get some cheddar for that.
I got one of those.
Yeah,
I just opened it. I haven't revealed it yet.
I didn't have one, and he
Mine
had
is
one.
signed.
And he didn't want it. I don't care about no sign; it just messes it up. And then I bought this.
No, he signed it down below. Actually, it looks really good.
I bought this at off of an IG sale, and that's a nice house on the lake. That one in
I have to pop
25.
out of here, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, mate, for jumping on.
Happy birthday, MadSpidey. Honestly, you're an awesome dude.
Thanks,
Glad
mate.
that you're having a good birthday.
Just a nice, relaxed, chill one at home.
There you go.
Sorry about not being able to see everybody. And
we're really sorry that
everything
only your
going
American
on,
friends will come out and that your Australian friends have forsaken you.
I'm used to that.
Yeah, this is just a bunch of Americans in here.
There you
And
go.
Ralph,
Thanks, mate.
I don't
Appreciate
recognize
it.
California.
It's like they value work over hanging out with their friends.
Whereas I always take my birthday off, so.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't let work get that much in the way of my Friday hangouts and stuff. I mean, we're kind of lazy.
So, are you going to go see the Batman movie?
Eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those first weekend sort of people. I always wait for the hype to die down a little bit. I know a lot of people, spoilers this, spoilers that.
Yeah.
I'll just go and see it when I can go and see it.
I'm going to go see it Friday, but I'm a little scared because Jason in the chat posted a review and it wasn't good. I mean, like the guy really tore it up. I mean, it wasn't about the actors. It was just like he said, the director did not bring his A game. Even the scoring wasn't good as far as the music goes. The actors had little to work with. And they said he's the one. Yeah, I know. I'm going. I think I'm going to go see it Friday, Justin. But I'm not a big fan of going and watching a movie and the lighting's bad. I mean, like it is The Dark Knight. I get it. They're trying to be, ominous and everything. But the guy complained that it was like tons of rain scenes, which can be difficult to film in, and the lighting had some issues. And he said there were times where you weren't sure what was going on. And it's a long movie. It's like, I think almost like 3 hours or something.
Yeah, I heard somebody say something about 3 hours or something, but
yeah, there was some. He's like, I just don't know why it had to take that long. He said they kind of took a lot of the wind out of a lot of the villains. I mean, it was just not a good write-up. I'm like, man, this guy is either hating on the people that are in it, but he didn't write it that way. He kind of just killed my camera. I hate this camera. He didn't write it that way though. He said it just didn't have what it needed to make a good Batman movie, whatever that means.
I was very skeptical, mainly because of Patterson. Like I haven't seen a lot of him outside of Harry Potter and outside of Twilight and whichever he's pretty much known for.
Right.
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff anyway. A lot of people say he is a really good actor outside of those franchises, but I still can't see past that. So it's going to be a lot of convincing for me for him to be playing Batman.
Well, and that's what one of the things he said was he thought that he did a really good job with what he had. Oh, I agree. I'm not eating or drinking anything before this movie because I hate that.
I'm skipping my blood pressure medication that day.
Yeah, I might have to do the same. You might
Or at least
be
until
right.
after the film.
But remember they used to do intermissions. I remember going to see Scarface, and they cut that off in the middle, and they were like, "It's an intermission." I'm like, "Sweet, let's go." But I haven't seen an intermission in any movie in a long time. You'd
No,
think
usually,
they'd have one.
usually the intermission was between the double header, the double features.
Which
So-
we only
Yeah.
really got at the we only got that at the drive-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd always get that. So that everybody would literally just bolt towards the snack bar or whatever like that, grab whatever they needed, and run back and then be
Run back.
prepared for the second movie. Yeah.
Well, I remember going to see Scarface in a movie theater, and they threw the lights up, and I looked at the guy, and I was like, "What the hell?" He's like, "It's intermission, dude. Let's run." And I was like, "Oh, sweet."
So back in the day, there might have been some times where they had to do that if they weren't set up with multiple projectors, they
Change the reel.
change the reels. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I think-
those of us that are old enough to have lived
Yeah, I'm
through
trying to
those days.
think, Rob. When was Scarface? Was that like 82? You think?
I think that was earlier.
That might
Yeah,
have been
I
early.
thought it was 70. I thought it was 78, 79.
I might not have been old enough to go see it because I was with this my neighbor across the street and his dad, and I'm pretty
1983.
Oh, it was
well,
83.
then I was old enough then. Shit, I was old enough by then, but I remember his dad, and I looked at him like, "Why is the lights on?" And he's like, "Oh, it's an intermission. We should go." And I was like, "Yep, gotta go. Let's do it." Pretty sure that was one that my parents would have not approved of. They'd have been like, "Nah."
I think the last movie I saw that we had intermission might have been first Batman, like Michael Keaton Batman.
There
Really?
you go.
I
There's
think so.
I just got an alert. 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes left. There's an ASM 298. So the first McFarlane
Mm.
and first cameo of Eddie Brock. It's currently sitting at $52.
I'll take it.
It looks good.
You can buy that for me, Rob. Go right ahead.
Oh, you know, it's got a little bit of stain. Still, it's overall it presents very well. Actually, there's a little bit of discoloration. Definitely needs a press,
I don't have
But
a
it's
lot of Spidey.
but yeah, it needs a press and a clean. It's probably like an 8.5, whatever. But for $52, it's like
I wouldn't complain.
no.
No.
Be right back. I gotta.
And that's what I said before. Like, you know, that's, even though it's a very tedious job, that's the one thing I'm loving about this CLZ thing, scanning all my books in while I've got a bit of free time,
Yeah.
is I'm finding stuff that I forgot I even had.
Right?
And
Dude,
it's like, I don't have that much of a collection, but I'm like, I don't realize I had that.
I didn't like, I've got maybe, I don't know, half a long box full of Spider-Man, and that was it. And so I start going through it one day, and I'm like, where the hell did this? I think it's like, what is it, 194, the first Black Cat? I was like,
Yeah.
where did that come from? I swear to you, I had no idea that was in my collection. None at all. And I was doing the same type
That's a big book at the moment.
I was rebagging and boarding. I mean, it's not high grade by any means. It's probably like, you know, maybe a 4 or 5, but who cares? I was like, it popped up in there, and I was like, where did this come from? How did this get in my collection? Because I don't remember ever buying it, but it was there. And there are a lot of books in my collection that I've had since I was a kid. You know, like there's a lot of speculation that, oh, damn, what's her name? Monica Rambeau is going to be, you know, is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie. I remember picking that up as a kid and reading it, and you know, paid like whatever it was, 50 cents at the time, going, oh, wow, this is cool. She has no idea how to work her powers. That's what made it so exciting. Is that they were writing it like a true first appearance. Like, this woman got her powers. She's trying to figure it out. She's freaking out. Yeah, it was a good story. But I mean, that's most of my collection is just old stuff that I've had since I was young. So,
and that's probably why it's harder for me. Is like I never really, I got rid of all my DC and my, you know, my Spawn books and all that sort of stuff, and everything's just Marvel now. But yeah, it's still even like as he going through that app, it like you see the little key symbols, and I'm like, which they've only just added sort of fairly recently, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm spending more time going, oh, I've got that book. Okay, I'll click on and say what it is. Oh, first appearance of this person or whatever. Like that. I'm like, I've never even heard of that person, but I have it. I'm glad I have it. So
yeah,
it's actually quite fun, but it's a long haul trying to do. Like I'm about 25 short boxes I'm trying to do. So
yeah, well, I mean, it takes time, but this is the time to do it. I mean, look, I rebagged and board probably a good 80% of my collection during COVID. Like when I knew, I told my buddy, I was like, we better get everything we can because they're going to shut down. And he's like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, it's going to shut down. And I remember like buying, I don't know how many bags and boards. And I just, my wife was like, what do you do? What the hell? And I was like, babe, some of these are really old. They need to be thrown out. Trust me, we're going to have time to do this. And sure enough, on the weekends, I just started bagging and boarding and going, look, that's how I figured out I had that 194. I was like, I know these damn Spider-Man books haven't been done in a while, so let me go through those. And I don't know. It was good opportunity. If you have time, it's a good opportunity to scan that in. I've never used it. I probably should download it and use it myself.
No, apparently the computer version is apparently a lot better, but I've never used it. I've only ever done it on my phone, but it's really handy now, and I'm getting to that stage where I'm like, especially with a lot of the Spider-Man runs, I'm like, I only got limited numbers and things like that, but the ones that I don't look at all the time, like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm missing a few issues of Spectacular or Web or something like that. I'll be like, I just like to be able to see which ones. Always remember the amazing ones because there's only 4 issues.
Right.
But the Spectacular and the Web and a few of the solo series and stuff, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm missing like 1 issue. Next time I go out, I'll just hunt for that issue and things like that.
Now,
it's useful.
Does it cost anything? Like I said,
It does. I can't remember what it is. It's like a couple of bucks or something like that.
A month. It's probably not that bad. Yeah.
Nah, I think there's more professional ones or like like StreamYard. StreamYard's obviously got things like that as well.
Yeah.
But definitely, a couple of bucks a month. It is what it is. So I'd rather. It's useful. My state never shown the pros and cons. What to do? Yeah, we won't start talking about shutdowns, saying that Melbourne was the most shut down city in the world.
Yeah, no lie. That was that. I wouldn't have wanted to live in that situation.
No. Like, luckily enough, I was still able to work and actually go to work.
Right.
I didn't have to work from home or anything like that. So I wasn't cooped up in the house all the time for 2 years.
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, Rob loved it. He was, some people do. Some people
I do because I'm actually able to work from home permanently now. Which only makes sense. My company's whole job of what they do is provide communication systems to allow you to work from anywhere.
Right.
So the fact that for the longest time they were making us come to the office, I was like, why are we so adverse to remote working when that is exactly what we do for a freaking...
Yeah, exactly, right?
That is like because the managers were old school and didn't want to, and now they got new managers have come in and we've been living through it, and they found, oh damn, look at that, our people are more productive because they're not wasting an hour and a half a day doing different water cooler talk. They're not wasting time doing this and that, and they're putting in extra time and they're not taking their breaks and
right. My wife just went back to going like 3 days a week. They told all the scientists they could come in 3 days a week. And, some of those guys, they have to get in there in the lab in order to perform their experiment. But, she doesn't do that. She's in statistics. So everything she has is right on the laptop. And I'm like, you could just tell them you're going to work from home. We got better Wi-Fi than that crap they got in the building over there. It keeps shutting down on them.
My wife has to go in 3 days a week now, too. But she works for the government. And the government's kind of picky about not making, even though it might be less efficient, because they are constantly, are you spending public money effectively?
Right.
Even though the studies will say, no, you're not, by having people come to the office, it's an observable thing that it's like, oh, you have people, you don't know what they're doing. They're
Right.
it's,
Right. Are
so
they
it's like,
really doing what they're supposed to be
yeah,
doing?
exactly. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Are they getting their work done?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're given a study, like, I mean, if she doesn't have the statistics broken down on time, I mean, they can't publish, and that's a big red flag. They're gonna ask,
Yeah.
well, what were you doing all that time? So
Exactly. So
but
just-
unfortunately, I had to go in every day. I was kind of like you, Spidey. I didn't have a scenario where I could work from home, so that was the other thing she said when all that crap started was, guess what, boy, you get to go out to the grocery store. You're going to be the guinea pig doing everything since you got to go out every day.
I also looked at it like, you know what? If you pay me a salary, right, instead of an hourly wage,
Sure.
so you're paying me to do a job, whether I get it done or not. Well, then, God damn it, you know what? Then as long as I get the job done, it doesn't matter what time of day I do it at, whatever. And
Exactly.
be able to be flexible with your schedule a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, I got a gardener coming by right now. I got to go meet with him. Okay, great. I'm gonna take half an hour here.
Yeah. I mean, she worked on Sundays in the beginning. I remember saying, hey, I'm gonna be up in the room signed on, if you need me. So
yeah, I do have that where we try to make sure that at least with my team, I try to instruct with them to make sure that they're enforcing a start-stop time for the most part.
Right.
That way because if you're working from home, it's too easy to put in too much time, and I want them not to. And so like even today, all of a sudden it was like noon my time, and I could see I was doing something for one of my Romanian staff members, and all of a sudden I saw them post something that they were working on it too, and I'm like, why the hell are you up? It's 11 o'clock at night. You're not working. Log off. Go back.
Right. Go to bed. Exactly.
Yeah, I got people pinging me now asking me if I'm still around. I say, sorry, my hours are posted, and I work from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm sorry.
I thought it'd be the other way around. Like people would be getting too distracted. Like, I'll just put on a movie in the background.
It depends. I think it depends on what you do and like where and what kind of your environment is. Right. I don't have young kids.
Right.
So, I have one who's away to college and the other one who is hidden in his room for the most part, is now going to go off to college in the next semester.
Yeah.
So that's different. Whereas people who have a lot of young kids, you'd hear kids screaming and kids pulling at mom and stuff. And she's trying to do the meeting, have a meeting stuff. So that's a completely different ball of wax.
It's kind of like Mark on the streams.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it's like. And then, in Romania, my team, they all can't wait to get back because their office, their homes are much, much smaller than we are. So
my wife was the same way. I mean, our kid is 18 and, he's that last year, he was a senior in high school. He didn't half the time he was, doing streaming himself to do class. They didn't go back to class. That whole year was pretty much on lockdown. So everything he did was up in his room and he'd come down for dinner and that'd be about it. So, but unfortunately, because of my job, I manage people, and we're part of like, we're microelectronics. So that means we work for, defense contractors, or we sell a lot of stuff to them, and they were like, oh, you're what do they call that? Not necessary, but it's
essential.
Yeah, you're essential personnel, so we need you to come in. And I'm like, really? They need how many more missiles? Come on. I mean, some of our stuff goes into different subs and everything, and they're just like, all right, you're gonna have to come in.
Well, that's the same with me. Like I work for an electrical wholesaler, so we deal with electricians day in and day out.
Right.
So we were classified as essential because we're supplying to them that are doing, and at certain stages it sort of changed. Like sometimes it was emergency only that they could do, so breakdowns and things like that. But then other times they'd be like, okay, well now you're allowed to work on new builds only. You're not allowed to go to people who actually, an occupied, place or anything like that.
Sure.
So, but it changed all during the, and that's why we were all confused for 2 years because especially
Nobody-
with our state government. He would basically run it like a dictatorship and would change the rules at a whim. Oh, the health officials have advised me this. I'm like, that's bullshit, mate. You're the one making the bloody decisions.
Right.
You're the one keeping us in lockdown. So we were going through different, that's what everybody was watching the news every single night. Like, I'll watch the news occasionally if something's on, or whatever sort of thing. I need to know about something, or just read it online. But like this, we were literally, you're hanging on sort of bated breath, basically. Just okay, now what's the restrictions that are going to ease today, or going to be added today, or
Right.
and that's what it was. That's what it was like for 2 years. It was.
You had curfew too, right? Y'all had curfew.
We had curfew at a couple of different stages. Yes,
That's crazy.
Yep. Like
we had curfew here.
The first time
in the early days.
Yeah, that's
first
true.
time they did it, I think it was 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, and then the second time they did it, it was like 8:30 or 9 o'clock or something like that. Because the problem is that people were going, oh, there's not going to be any cops around. I'll just sneak out at night and do whatever I want to do, sort of thing.
Right.
But that was horrible.
In the beginning, I had to have a paper in my car at all times that if I was
Workers
pulled by a police, in case, like, what are you doing out on the road? And I was like, man, this is never going to happen. And damn, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to one of my people that work in my department. She got pulled. And she couldn't believe it. Like, it was in her car, but she was like, this can't be happening. And she came in and she goes, I'm sorry I'm late, but I actually got pulled over by the police. And they said they wanted to see the, what wanted to know why I was out. And I was like,
we actually had something at one stage we called the Ring of Steel. It was to separate Metro Melbourne from regional, the regional thing. So literally at all the sort of what they designate as metro area, there was literally a ring of steel of like cops and stuff patrolling that area.
Wow.
Stopping and checking, okay, why are you here? What are you doing?
Right.
Have you got a permit? And da-da-da-da-da. Where do you live? Where are you going? And all that sort of stuff. And it literally was like a dictatorship, and it was hard. It was really, really hard.
I do remember like watching the stream and Simon or somebody said, man, I got to go. It's going to be curfew soon, and I want to go get a beer and, pack of cigarettes or something. I was like,
yeah, it was the cigarettes. That's right. I remember that.
What the hell? He's like, nope, got to go. I was like, see ya.
Yeah.
That was funny.
The only people that could get away with that was the essential workers.
Yeah.
And obviously, because we're open from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m, like where we're always like, okay, well, then our permit was for sort of that sort of time that, okay, yeah, I'm going to work if you do get pulled over or whichever. And, they could prove that. But it was so easy to get a permit because you just download it off the government website, fill it out by yourself, give a copy to your employer, and it's like, there's my permit. It's like,
it
wasn't that hard. But,
So let's get off of this because it's kind of sad.
Depressing.
I want to know, what is the big book you're going for your new year as your new birthday here? What book are you going to try to get? Because I'm always curious to see. I know what Rob's always getting. He's getting Golden Age Spacemen, but I don't know what you're getting.
It's and like as I've said before, it's like there are some ones that are high on my hit list, but it's more of an affordability problem, unfortunately.
Sure.
Like I would love to knock one of those 4 ASM books that I need to complete my entire run. But logistically, financially, I don't think it's going to happen. But in saying that, like I'd love to get some more bigger books this year. Like obviously that first Mephisto was a big book for me. I love that I got that. I would love to be able to get in that sort of situation again, but mine's more of an opportunity because we don't have that kind of accessibility here, unfortunately.
Right.
But, just lost my headphones. Knocked off my headphones. It's as I said, it's more the fact of right time, right place.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a very long list, like a lot of people do.
Sure.
But it's just like if I go to like big, like our first big convention is this weekend. I haven't got much money, unfortunately. I might only go with $100 or $200. But it's like, do I buy one $200 book, or do I buy 10, $20 book sort of thing?
Sure.
It's like, it's just depending on what's there and what I can get.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to, in March, we're going to go down to Richmond Galaxy Con. And I'm kind of in that same boat. I'm trying to watch my pennies. And I'm like, I don't even, and I'm not like you. I said, I'm not a big signature guy, but Mike Grell is going to be there. And I have some really cool old DC Legion books that I wouldn't mind him signing, and one or two old Green Arrow books that he did. So if his signatures aren't like super expensive, I might get some of that signed. But as far as buying anything major, I mean, I'm going to try to get some more of those Delta dogs that, excuse me, that Austin LeMay did that cover of. Well, I bought 1 through 11 when they were in Baltimore, and I kind of want to read the rest of it. So I'm going to get it when they're there, because I know they're going to be there because they're in Chesapeake. So, but yeah, everybody has their own books. And if I have time, I swear to you, Rob, if I know I don't have anything going on that Saturday, I am driving over to that freaking Richmond comic store, because I know I saw some Golden Age shit in there that I know it has to be. It looks a lot like the stuff you post now, and they didn't look that expensive. And then I'm going to send you pictures and be like, Rob, does this look right?
Depending on what it is, sometimes some of it's not. Some of it is.
I was looking at it going, damn, I think this is the kind of stuff Rob likes.
Yeah, especially like the ones that don't cost a lot.
Yeah,
I just picked up another Golden Age book that's on its way, Captain Marvel, where he's wrestling down on the cover. He's a robot dinosaur.
Nice combo.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's Fawcett Captain Marvel books are not expensive typically.
Yeah.
Oh God, what were they calling it before? I'm forgetting. It was called before. It was called Captain Marvel. I don't know why it's escaping me all of a sudden. But anyways, the older ones are more, but still, these ones are. I usually get them for anywhere from between $50 to $75.
Yeah.
Raw. They're usually mid grade, and mid grade is good for a book that's from the late 40s, early 50s.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's probably early 50s, right?
I think this one is 46, actually.
Damn. You're like Jerry the Jitterbug, man. You're going deep in that stuff.
I don't go deep. I just, when I see something I like, I do. I've been buying a lot more Silver Age sci-fi stuff than Golden Age lately.
Well, if I get back over there, I'm gonna look, and because he had them.
Oh no, this one is this one was from 1952.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it was like $51.
That's not bad.
No,
that's not bad. Hey, Miss So,
I pay more than that.
Just another rabbit hole
stuff, but
yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Is like when for me, like in the sci-fi books, whether they're Silver Age or Golden Age or whatever, it's the title character matters and the subject matter matters. What's on the cover? I mean, that's a lot of stuff with a lot of the Golden Age stuff to begin with. I mean, once you get away from the superhero titles and you get into just the other stuff, it's really about what's on the cover. And within that niche, right? Certain things are, like if you're doing horror comics, severed heads and other stuff are going to cover more than something else. And it becomes a sci-fi where I'm focused, right? It's like, okay, robots are king, and then after that, rocket ships and ray guns and all these things.
Right.
What's up, Mark?
Happy birthday, bro!
Thanks, mate.
I was out eating. I just got home. I threw the kids in the bath and ran up here. I hope they've got this on their own.
Yeah, they got. You put little wings on them, right? So that way they float.
Well, the ones you used to put on people's arms and inflate. I found out if you start with them deflated and slide them over the baby's head, then inflate them.
Nice.
Then you're good.
Yeah. Keeps their head above water.
Exactly. And it gives something for Finn to like speed bag.
Nice.
Man.
No, but
Oh,
I
my
honestly,
goodness.
happy birthday, man.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
This was a great idea. Celebrate you. We're here to celebrate you. Is that what we're doing?
That's we got a little off there, but we're back. We're back. I was trying to
We're-
get
we're-
some. Here's
we're
some
all over
big
the
books
place.
out of him.
Ooh.
So I strategically planned where I was eating dinner tonight. We went to this place called Genghis Grill. You know what's right next door to this restaurant? Staples. Because I wanted to send out all these welcome packs, you know. I'm like, I don't have anything to send them. And like, y'all want to eat at Genghis Grill? And we pulled up. I'm like, I'm just going to walk in here real quick.
So you didn't want to just walk into the post office
Ulterior
and get
motive.
the free supplies?
These aren't free at the post office. These bubble mailers, these small bubble mailers.
Well, the priority bubble mailers are.
These are the little ones.
Yeah, I don't think they have anything that small.
Mm-mm.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
have
send
a ton of.
So you
free
send it in
supplies.
the bigger one, it's free.
Well, it's still not free for the bubble
Shipping.
line mailers. Like their free stuff is very. It's not always a limited, but not what I wanted.
I don't know. I had to buy them. I always get stuff online. I just go to the post office, sign in, click, click, click. They ship it to me for free.
Well, then can you just put my send?
Well, you can
address
just
in
come
there?
walk next door. You just come next door and pick some up.
Dude, I'm already barefooted. You know how long it takes me to put my flip flops on?
Half a second. Depending upon which way they're oriented.
Yeah.
If you have to try to spin it around and now this is my left foot, not my right foot.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to Pops for shipping it for me.
Your pops did a good job.
I keep
thing
hearing
was-
that. He's never mailed me a damn book as long as I've known him.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he hand delivers it.
I think he hand
Yeah.
delivers it, my brother.
Like
Saves
I've
on
gotten
money.
raw books from him. I've gotten one slab from him, like the Elucid Jang Deceased Virgin variant for Harley Quinn cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been looking for that one like since early on, and Dad would always like alert me when he'd see one for sale and everything. And my birthday last year, it was epic. He got me a comic, and as soon as I felt it was a comic when I got into the package, I'm like, dude, this is that Harley Quinn, isn't it? And I opened it up, and it was a trade dress. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm like, I thought my dad knew that I'm a virgin variant guy for these things, you know?
Right.
And he's like, that's not all I got you, but there's more coming in the mail. And sure enough, 3 days later, he hands me the signed slab of the virgin copy. I'm like,
You guy, you.
I swear to God.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Guy.
That's
This guy
awesome.
right here. There is.
Yeah, I
have
wish
to
my
get
I wish my
myself
old
a
man
list.
collected comics when he was young. I'd have some absolutely killer stuff
Yeah.
because he's
Mine
80, 87 now.
What?
These are all those
Poker
what are they
chips.
called? Yeah, but
I don't
Oh,
have.
for your
I don't
phone.
have any of those.
I know I just got them in.
I just have like that one and my standard when I put this
Thanks, Mike.
on to
Lee.
do my video to go.
Please,
This video is sponsored by Legion of Comics.
Lee, did Tyler send you your welcome pack? I was thinking about it, MadSpidey. I think I sent Tyler. He might still have it because I know he waits to ship stuff. So
Hmm.
I'm going to still include one for Lee. Yours is going to be in here, but I'm going to put a separate envelope. Like, do they take American postage stamps over there? I can pre-stamp it.
If you stand, just send. Fuck. God damn.
I can address it to Lee with my return address, slap a stamp on it, and slide it in here. So you can open it, get your goodies out, pull Lee's out, and just throw it in the mailbox. They're forever stamps.
Yeah, they're forever.
That's probably the best. You know, that is the best thing the post office ever did. Actually,
Yeah, it was.
What?
You're right about that.
create forever stamps.
I honestly don't
Yeah.
know the difference between just a stamp and a forever stamp.
So postage always used to have a denomination on it, and that's how much it was worth. And so when
49 or whatever.
so if you bought a 15-cent stamp back in the day, and
Yeah,
they raised
he's right.
and they raised the price 2 cents to 17 cents. You'd have to go buy you either had to go buy a bunch of 2-cent stamps,
Yeah, I remember.
or you
that.
had to go buy all new stamps. and stuff. And so it always sucked every time, especially when they got in the habit after probably about 1983, I think it was around there, you started having like increases like every 2 to 3 years in the cost of sending postage. And so when they finally came out forever stamps, now I don't, especially since we mail stuff less and less now, I don't go through stamps nearly as often.
I don't either.
It's nicer to have those around. Then you can you can just use them whenever. It doesn't matter what you paid for them; they're still good. Otherwise, you end up like this. I got a whole sheet of Ronald Reagan stamps at 37 cents a pop. I don't even know what it would cost to use these. How much I have to augment, because I don't know how much a letter even costs these days.
Come on, I want an Augusta book exchange.
Yeah, I really up these new member packets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you get one of these at all, Jim? Because I think Paul had these made, and then immediately later got these right in. So I send
all I got was Fandom, this one,
and
your Circle Legion one, which I love the Circle Legion.
So this is the sketch variant. That's what this has become, the sketch variant.
All right. I'll get one. I'm going to get Paul to give me one. I'm just going to email him directly.
So, whether Tyler has them or not, Lee, I'll throw a pack in there. What do you need me to send with it to get it to Lee? Just send it to you?
Just send it to me.
Okay.
I don't need anything else.
I know you don't have any of these, Lee, the actual buttons, because I just got these in. So the way that I do this stuff, man, I ordered one time from Sticker Mule and got a big stack of just these to try them out. Yep. And after you order from Sticker Mule, and you don't even believe their prices up front because they're going to give you mad discounts before you actually cash out. But now once every 2 weeks, they send an email blast out with a crazy deal. Like, try a $30 t-shirt for $7, try a pack of 50 of these for $20, normally $80 kind of thing. You're like, yeah, that's what I'll do this time then, I guess. I just shop what they offer at those crazy deals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the last time I sent a stamp, it was like 25 cents.
Yeah.
I think they're like $1 something now.
Yeah,
because nobody uses it anymore.
At least,
yeah. Ours. I think first class postage. I think is 54 cents or something. First class postage.
They used to buy them, in the sheet with the perforated. You just tear them off.
It's 58 cents right now for first class postage, which is a 1 ounce letter.
That's crazy.
It's like, yeah.
I'm always sending out flat rate legal envelopes, it seems. So I know that what that cost me.
Yeah, that's what I use. That's what I'm getting ready to use on my
holds a Gemini, $8.05 anywhere in the US.
I use the priority
mystery box.
They're like $9.25.
That's what I'm using. It's priority mail. The legal flat rate. I
don't think mine are flat rate is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Flat rate.
How much did you say?
But you might be talking about the actual postage rate. I get I'm buying through Pirate Ship, which is discounted.
$8.05, baby. Yep. That's what.
Yeah. It's perfect for a Gemini.
Yeah. You should use Pirate Ship. It's cheaper.
Mark, you need to get on Pirate Ship, bro.
Yeah, that's not about it. I've always wondered, how do you determine the do they ask for the dimensions and all that when you're
when you're doing your package, you select your packaging, right? So if you're selecting the this stuff, you just tell it it's in the drop down, it's legal flat rate envelope or medium flat rate box, and then that automatically determines it. If you're doing when I send out my mystery boxes and it's a plain brown box or something, then you put in the dimensions of the box
and the weight, right?
And the weight, right?
Yeah.
So when I did MadSpidey's package, I had to measure the box and put the weight and all that fun stuff. Oddly enough, even shipping to Australia, they only ask me in pounds and ounces. Nobody wants to know about kilos. I'm just saying. You all say it's the rest of the world, but I'm just saying. They ask me about pounds.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I would have thought for sure they would have. How many kilos?
Probably because I'm shipping from here in the States. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You're doing all the conversion.
They'll do the conversion on their end, but it's all discounted, and it's and actually now Pirate Ship you can have your choice between U.S. mail and UPS, so it when you drop down and you can see what the different rates are. So sometimes sometimes I see like, oh, it cost me less than $1 to do it this other way instead. I'll spend a little bit more because it'll get there in like 2 days instead of a week, or because it includes insurance or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you just need to balance, like, whether it's gets there safer versus quicker, or
Mm-hmm. Right. Or well, then it has insurance or not. So like, what's nice is like, UPS won't necessarily include insurance normally, but when you go to like the World Express, it's like the package I was sending to you is like it automatically includes $100 insurance. Great. So I can, it doesn't matter what I'm putting in there. I got at least $100 coverage, even if I declare it as only $10 for you.
Right.
It's like,
well, I mean, like the post office only does up to $50, and if you want more, then you have to pay for it.
Unless you do priority. Priority is 100.
100,
yeah.
But even still, which doesn't matter when I'm shipping. If I'm shipping a bunch of books off to my presser, it's like, all right, well, I need $2,000 in insurance. Thanks.
Have you?
Insurance is strangely affordable, though.
It is.
I'm sure my books I sent to Justin Comics, and like there are some big books in there.
Right.
And I'm like, how much would it cost for me to put this much insurance? Like, $5. I'm like, wait, what? Like, can we triple it then? Like, if I give you $20, how much insurance you about to give me? Like,
can you even lose it for me, please? Because I'll go buy some better books.
That way.
I could get upgrades.
I paid $24 and some change extra for insurance. I'm like, dude, this is fantastic.
Ooh. Hey, Mark, you'll like this. I picked up a Mark book yesterday. I picked up that Forever People 1.
Oh.
Right, first Dark Side.
First full Dark Side.
Right, estimated in like about a 7.58. I paid $75 for it.
That sounds fair. That sounds ridiculously fair. Where did you find that?
It was on Flip Mode Comics.
What is that?
Those guys.
So they're an IG. It's an IG seller group. They basically they get collections and they sell collections and whatnot. They posted it up and they called out, oh hey, this has got this little minor flaw. Definitely needs a press though. Probably 7.58. And they're asking $150 or best offer. And I'm just sitting there, I was just watching because I haven't been spending any money with them much. And nobody was doing anything. There was no talk about it. And so finally I just threw out freaking half what they were asking, $75. And they're just sitting there like, all right, we got 75. Anybody else? All right, we won't be denied. Rob, it's yours, $75. And
they didn't make you gamble for it? A lot of times they want to. They
just took the $75 and ran, and I was like, "Oh, nice."
A lot of times they'll do a gamble thing. They'll be like, "All right, we're gonna play a hand of poker."
Especially with bigger books, they will a lot.
Yeah, they will do that.
They don't do that on the small books. On the small
slabs
books,
and whatnot, they will for sure.
Yeah, sometimes when you're talking about a book that's like $3 or $4 grand, and they're talking about like, well, they just say, oh, we want $3,500 for this book, and you go, I'll give you $3, and we can't go that low, but hey, we do this, $3,100 if you win, or $3,300 if we win, type thing, and it's like, whatever. I don't play that game.
So you got a raw copy, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
when was that book done? When was that book done? Yeah.
74, 75?
Yeah, that'd been the 70s all day long.
Jack Kirby.
I thought it was like a Silver Age.
Maybe 76.
No, it's definitely a Jack Kirby book, and 70s Bronze Age book with but first Dark Side. So it's not a book I would have gone out looking for, but if it's going to fall into my lap, I'll take it.
71. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 80 for it. And I'll pay shipping.
Or you want to roll the dice?
I've got it at
for the difference.
Yeah, let's gamble, Rob. I'll give you 80 for it, but if I win the dice roll, you pay shipping.
Why would I want to do that?
Why not? Make money.
So
is that worth it for $5?
Fine then. Spidey, what's your first name? Simon? Oh, that's right.
It's right on his IG.
Yeah.
It says MadSpidey.
No, but on instead of his IG.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. I'm not very IG savvy, despite what you might think.
His address is 123 Australia Street, Aussie Land.
Mabin.
Behind the pub next to the kangaroo shithouse.
Rob, that's where I bought those I bought those Amazing Adventure Beast books. It's from those guys on Flip Mode.
Yeah.
Again, same type thing. Nobody's like, they wanted like $80 for it. And I said, no way am I going to pay 80, but I'll pay 40. And nobody was doing anything. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people? This is the Beast.
I got that Wolverine 9.8 off of them.
Yeah.
That all the whole limited series. It was like Wolverine 1, 2, 3, 4 miniseries. It was 3. They wanted. I ended up paying like $300 for it, for all 4 books, and then
That's
and they were saying that they were all 9.4 better, and so I got them in. I had them pressed and set and graded, and they came back. That came back a 9.8, which was of course the big book, and the others all came back 9.4s.
So they were pretty much on point. They were.
Yeah, I've had some that haven't been though with them.
Yeah,
too. I had a book that came when I got it raw from them. I immediately reached out and said, "Hey, there's no way that this is an 8.0 because there's a sub crease right down the middle of the freaking book."
Yeah,
that breaks color. And they go, oh, okay. So they ended up refunding me. Like we worked out a deal on it. And I bought a bunch of old Atom books off of them as a lot. And they were all like, supposedly they're all complete and all everything else. Well, one of them came back a fucking green label because it was missing something. I was like, oh, damn it. Fucking, but I've had more that have been correct than not. The thing is that the volume of books that they're going through in order to sell them, they're judging a book by its cover.
Yeah,
they don't have the time to go through each one individually and check everything about it. So they're doing the same thing that same bad habits that we do, which is look at it in the bag. I don't want to pull it out of the bag and board and check. Look at it. Oh, it looks good. It's a 9.8 candidate every day. Get it back, comes back a 9.0. You're all, what the fuck? And then you look at the back. Oh, it's got all these color rubs on the back or something.
Right.
Like, shit.
Like when I looked at that Silver Surfer Rebirth crane I had, I'm like, it's got a couple spine ticks on the front. It's not too bad. It's still in the margin of error that they promised. And I took it out and I'm like, oh, the back has this accordion effect on it. Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
The worst I've ever had is I had a Star Wars Princess Leia #1 that was signed by the cover artist. I bought it from it was a Dynamic Forces buy. So you buy it, it comes sealed in the Mylar with a tamper resistant label on it and a COA, right? And I didn't take it out of that. I sent it off to be graded just as is. And it came back as 7.5. And when I got it, it said there was a fucking hole in the middle of the back cover.
Ooh.
And sure enough, there was. I was like, oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Those guys slipped that shit in and sealed that up, said no mother's gonna fucking know.
Right.
How are they gonna know?
That's like Panda with his One Punch Man book coming back that way. Coming back, what was it? A green label, I think, or a purple label, or some shit. And he was like,
a green 9.6.
Yeah, the green 9.6
sticker on it
because they left a sticker on it.
I do have a book that if it had gone to it won't ever be done that way because it was signed before I got the book. It was signed by Jeremy Bullock, the actor who played Boba Fett in the Empire Strikes Back. So it's a Star Wars book that has Boba Fett on the cover, and he signed it. And when he signed it, the COA, the way it was done, because it wasn't done by a comic book company place, they put a little small sticker on the cover that has a number on it, and that number is then ties to the COA.
Right.
That's how you actually flipping know it's legit.
You remember how Todd used to do it? He used to have the stamp.
Right.
He had the stamp with the spider symbol on it and everything that correlated with the stamp on the COAs. I don't think that would take away from the actual grading.
But this was a sticker.
Yeah, stickers.
So it's a sticker on the cover, right? So fortunately, that was a book I'd sent off to PGX a long time ago, and they got it signed. They don't have a green label. Type thing or whatever, and they just the label, they do what CG or CBCS would do. So they authenticated it and they graded the book, and they just put a notation that there's a sticker on the cover, but whereas CGC would be all freaking green labeling that shit.
Yeah.
Even if it was witnessed, they'd go, "Ha ha, motherfucker, we're killing the value of your book."
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have a thing here in Australia where if it was done in like, you know, not comic shops, but in a news agents or something like that, they would literally like the big 25 or 30 cent or whatever on the actual book, they would like mark through it and actually so they could put their own bloody price on it. So like half of my old books are like that. You know, I don't care about that, but it was just something that they did here.
Rob, how is this going to ship when I go to the post office? Because it's not, you can't put a
First
stamp
class.
on it.
Yeah, you can.
Why wouldn't
I
you?
don't, like it's got.
Yeah, you can still put stamps, but if you go to the post office and have it, or you would just print out a label, they put the label on there.
Yeah,
or you can do it yourself at home.
I have a stack of these for convenience, but I didn't know, like I can just cut this off the top. I was wondering if I should cut this off the top before I slap it on there.
I would. Oh, you don't have a printer. Never mind. I would just log on to Pirate Ship right now and do it yourself and save yourself 30% on your shipping. But you don't have a printer.
Rob, are they your sponsor or something, man?
No. I'm just about trying to save you some money as a valued community member.
So I just wanted. I didn't know if
you can put better shit in your Legion box. No,
that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be perfect, Mark.
I was going to put a slab in this month, but now I'm not.
And put a forever sticker
That's
on
all right.
the label.
Just for
on
that,
there,
I'm not going to
whatever.
win this month.
You're gold.
Yeah, there you go.
There was a Spider-Man slab too, Rob.
It's all right.
Does it say DJ Links on it?
Yeah, I don't know why I just showed that. Yes, it does. I'm sending it to. What? It's a yeah.
Because it's going to Spidey, right?
Yeah. So myself, Austin, and DJ all have stuff we're sending to Spidey, so we're just throwing it all into one box and throwing it on the shipping together.
Spidey's gonna have an hour-long video. I got this box from America. Look at all this shit they gave me.
Yeah. Freedom unboxing.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, that was fun. I was watching. I can't remember if it was last night. I was watching the news. It was either Sky News or Al Jazeera, English news, talking about all the Czechoslovak stuff, and they were interviewing the interviewing an Australian ex-opposition leader.
Oh God!
And he was talking. That's how they described him. I don't remember his name. Anyways, he's talking about some stuff, and he sounded so American for the moment because he starts talking about, yeah, that ain't gonna hunt. We believe in freedom, and so I was like, oh Jesus Christ, that's like so American right there. I believe in freedom.
Yeah, I don't know why they even bother sometimes.
Somebody said, hey, we want to interview somebody. He goes, I want to be relevant for a moment.
Yeah, it's like, me. Yeah. And unfortunately, all you guys would probably have the same thing with ex-presidents and stuff like that. It's like once they're away from, you know, all being in the spotlight, obviously whatever chance they sort of get, they will just pop back in.
No, generally
once you've been the president, you get a library and there's stuff an airplane in it.
Yeah.
And you're famous.
So usually there's been up until the last most recent ex-president, up until then, there had been a long-standing tradition of keeping your mouth shut and not second, because the job is hard enough as it is. The idea was that regardless of what party they were, that as the ex-president, you didn't do anything generally you didn't talk about current things that were going on in the news and stuff. You weren't, because you kept yourself.
Why not?
Because your time is gone. You're trying to be your own person.
Right.
And at the same time, you know, don't need to put extra effort. Now, as with everything else that's ever been done, President Trump has his own way of doing things, and he has been nothing but actually telling us how intelligent Putin is, and how
was back when he was the president. Remember?
No, but he's telling us now. He's doubled down on it multiple times, talking about how Putin was great. And of course, my personal favorite is simply because it didn't happen on his watch, it never would have happened on his watch.
Right.
Well, I remember, like, not getting political, but just how shocking it was when he was going over to meet with Putin, and like he was it seemed like he was talking like we're gonna like set the ground rules. I'm gonna meet with him. Blah blah. They go there, and Putin demanded like a private conversation first beforehand, and then they come out public conversation, and Trump's all smiley talking about how Putin's a genius, and Putin gives him a soccer ball. Like this is what you get. You get a soccer ball. I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? Did he show him the P tape or something before this meeting? What just happened?
Yeah, it's just so bizarre. And
Be back in a sec.
I don't know.
All right, he's gone. Now what do we do?
So, Mark, I'm waiting on one other thing, and then I'm sending you your inspirational message.
Okay, yeah, no rush, man, no rush.
No, it's coming. I'm waiting for something to come
You're
in the
waiting
mail
for
with
chicken
it.
soup for the soul to show up in the mail so you can plagiarize something on it.
No, it's already written. I already got it written. I totally stole something already.
Can you look in my eyes and rehearse it, or just read it to me?
No,
Okay,
it's
fine.
total surprise. But you know, I don't just send one thing. I can't waste a Gemini, and you know, I already have something that fits into Gemini, so I'm going to throw in a bunch of other crap that you probably already have. You can sell it, do whatever.
Okay.
But it's going to be a trade because I got too many trades. I need to get rid of them.
They're meant to be read.
Well, that's the thing, man. I read it and then I sit over here and collect dust. So I'll probably get, you know, I'm going to throw some in to my brother too when I go down and see him. I'm going to say, here, bro, all these trades.
Dude, oh my God. The book is so beautiful.
Rob, earlier I thought you were going to pop when I was not on. I was like, you were like, oh, yeah, look at this newsprint.
Oh,
Do a
yeah.
line of the newsprint.
That
Like,
smell.
what are you doing? and the book was awesome. I'll give you that. So, all right, look, I'm going to jump off so somebody else. I don't know if he can only have 4 people or what, but I've been on here long enough. So maybe somebody else wants to jump on and wish him a happy birthday.
That is an awesome bubble. All right.
Tell him I said happy birthday.
We will. I'll tell him that you got all naked for him.
Yeah, he missed it. All right, I'll see y'all later.
Planet Stories #1 from 1939. How does this chick have these books?
Rob.
Oh, yes, sir.
My dad told me you made a post today about a big score.
I did. My Monday mail call. Yep. There was a book that I was it was a goal, a comic collecting goal I had for quite some time.
That's the one that you were telling me about. Yes, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one we looked at backstage
Yeah.
the other week. Dude, that is awesome. That's what I told Dad. He couldn't remember what the name of the book was, and I was guessing.
Planet Comics. Yep.
Yeah, that's the cover's got it all.
Yeah, well, there's holy cow, this lady. How can I get it? I want to get a copy of this URL. Show you this. It's a crazy book. I don't know if you put this in a private chat.
There we go. Oh, Digger Jim's gone. Bye, Jim.
Yeah, he got all naked for you, and then he was disappointed that you weren't there. So
Yeah.
he left. He said, "Well,
Did he sing? Did he sing the Mr. President song?
yeah." He sang that, and then he said, "Forget it. I'm taking my balls and I'm going home."
Yeah. What did you say something? Did you? I just said that cover is beautiful. That cover
Oh
is
yeah,
beautiful.
there's his Instagram, this pulp sci-fi cover. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, the person holding it is also always intriguing too, but it's more about the.
It's funny now that like the amount of times that I've seen, like ever since I looked for those what was it now, Buck Rogers books or whatever like that, I keep getting emails from eBay saying, since your recent search, there's this, and this. I'm like, oh, Robert like that. Oh.
Indeed.
Yeah. No, that's it. Like you never say, like the only time I've ever seen those sort of books is just on eBay. I've never seen any of that stuff here in the wild. And now I've actually been sort of, scoping it out. Oh, that's nice. Simon would like that too, showing the legs.
Yeah, it says right on. It says it's a bondage splash page, and if you look closely, it's a tentacle monster. It's got her.
Yeah. Oh god! So then, yeah, Rob, the G-Man, would like that too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just actually. I need to look at that at some stage. I need to see what comic retailers are going to be.
Space wrecked women and plastic men. Cargo for Amazonia.
No, I just had to get a refill of my drink, John. That is all. And,
oh my goodness!
So you obviously, you finished all your meetings and.
Oh yeah, I've completely ignored everybody after 3:30. Even though my clock out, or I don't actually clock out, but my day is supposedly done.
Log off.
Yeah, my day is done at 1500. So I just usually put in a little bit of extra time cleaning up things, especially since today was end of month. Matter of fact, I might actually log back in just to double check that everything got done because it's end of month. But then next month is the worst because it's end of month. We'll get to that when we get towards the end of next month. It'll be end of month, end of quarter, end of fiscal year. It's absolutely the worst.
Yeah, well, it's like with us, obviously, with the sort of thing. It's like we look at, like for the business, obviously, we look at, okay, how much are we close to, like our budget that we want for the month and so on and so forth. Do we hold stuff back for the following month to give us a boost at the start of the month, or stuff like that sort of thing? And because it's all about budgets and things like that. Whether you're going to get your yearly bonuses and all that sort of stuff, and and like
books.
For the first time in probably, how long have it been? In May it'll be 12 years. For the first time in those 12 years, I think we're actually going to hit budget for every single month to actually get the full bonus that we get. Nice. I'm hoping anyway. So, yes, but unfortunately that doesn't get paid until November for the previous financial year. So I need to hang out until November.
Yeah.
As I always say, bonuses, it's a bonus. Like I don't look at it as in like, I have to get this or I'm owed this or anything like that. It's like it is a bonus. It's something that they do for an incentive for the employees. Whatever I get, even if it's $50, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, except that sometimes, depending on what you're doing, sometimes they talk about your compensation package and they talk about, you're going to make this plus bonus and da-da-da. Well, then I would want it. If you're going to include that as part of my compensation package, then I want it. And because that's part of my compensation. Don't go telling me, it's, you talk about I make this and then there's a chance of bonus. Great. But you tell me, I have this because you get this plus bonus equals this. Well, then that means the bonus should be fucking, yeah. But
yeah, because all ours is sales driven, obviously. So it's like if we don't hit those targets,
you
get what we call a pity bonus.
Yeah, no, we have the company. The company's bonus is based off of a lot of different factors, and so we do have
Profit sharing at my job.
yeah. So, but what's nice is at least this last go round we had like we beat all our goals, so we had 125% bonus payout, which was nice. So, but now we'll see. This will be we only get it we get bonus twice a year. So at the halfway mark and at the end of the fiscal year. So they'll end of next month they'll figure out the bonus, but we won't see that until like probably May. But
yeah, I wish it'd be nice if we got it. You know, I would have assumed that, like, you know, because all of our calendar, it's not done by calendar year, it's done by financial year.
Yeah.
So, you know, end of June is end of financial year. You would think, okay, we'll correlate all the statistics and all the numbers and everything like that, and then maybe in July or August you might get it. But no, you got to wait until, like, you know, late October or November.
It's because usually they got to finalize all their books and all their numbers and all these different things, and they have to report. You know, so that's why it's always delayed. Actually, the best part is I don't care. You know, the cash bonus, that's the thing that takes the long part. I don't care about it as much. The part of the bonus that I really am more interested in is, so for my company, we get be part of it is RSUs, restricted share units. So they'll basically give you a bunch of stock, and then it has a vesting period.
Thanks, mate.
So usually it's like 3 years. They use it as a retention tool, partly. So if you're a high performer and high value, they give you more, and they also try to target a certain ownership percentage or whatever, share percentage based on your salary and stuff. And so I'm actually looking really forward to this year because I've had a lot of stuff vest recently. So the part that's there as a retention tool is minimal. So they're going to have to give me a bunch to re-put my retention in line with where they want. And with the way the stock's been lately, it's actually down a little bit. So I get a whole crap ton of it. So when it starts to go up again, I'll be doing well, because that's the stuff I like to use.
Buying more Spaceman books.
No, actually, so all the stuff that I've done with my stocks that my company gives me, that stuff is 100% set aside for paying my kids' college, because I don't want to borrow against my house or anything else to pay for tuition. Yeah. So actually, that's a nice new load of it comes in is nice. Help get through the paying for all these tuitions, and then once the kids are done with school, anything that's left over at that point, then my wife and I can turn around and a bunch of deferred maintenance on the house and stuff, you know, like remodeling kitchens and stuff like that we've been putting off doing, you know, because we've been in this house for 17 years, and you know, we haven't redone the kitchen or bathrooms since right before we moved in. So it's time to update some of those things.
Yeah, and that's like my folks did. They because you know, like Dad was always like, because he was I don't know whether you have like fitter and turner, whether you know what that is. It's like a like metal work, and you work on construction and stuff like that. And you know, he was always going away doing jobs, you know, like interstate or regional or whichever, and he would you know, he'd be working 12-hour 15-hour days, things like that, and Mum was always sort of like obviously looking after me, and she did a little bit of like mobile hairdressing and things like that. And you know, so pretty much like most of the time, most of the money would obviously go to mortgage and car and, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and the payments and like usual sort of stuff. But then as soon as Dad retired, it was like, okay, well, now I've got, you know, pay off the house, pay off the car, pay off everything. Now we're just doing bills and just, you know, living their life basically.
Yeah, no, that's my goal. My goal is actually to have the house paid off before I retire. So and that's online. So it's like scratch tickets, a free sandwich. two more sandwiches and get another. You can save that next foot long for retirement, Becker. So we sit there. Yeah, that paying off the house is like I can stay here. The house paid off. I don't have to pay my mortgage. I don't have a rent, whatever else. And living off of your retirement gets that much easier. But at the same time, if we decide we do want to move, then we can sell and we get everything that we get. The house next.
Moving to the blue house.
No, actually, it's funny. So today, the painters were there next door. They're repainting the house again. They're painting it back to a neutral color because the house sold 4 days ago. The house closed, I should say. And so I was able to look it up online, and the house sold for $1.75 million. And I was like, oh, it's a 4-bedroom, 1,500 square foot house. It's not. It's not massive. And I said, oh, shit, that means mine's got to be 1.4 because my house is smaller. But
yeah, that's like over here. Like, they actually say like the medium price for houses in Melbourne, and like we have a lot of suburbs classified as in Melbourne, is like 1 mil, 1.1. And I'm talking about like even if it's like a little 2-bedroom weatherboard style house. Doesn't matter whether it's in the crappy western suburbs where all the low income earners are, or whether it's in the big high priced inner city stuff. That's the median price now. So it's like people are like, well, what are you still doing at home with your folks? I'm like, because I can't afford to move out.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
It's ridiculous.
But that's why. For me, that's why I sent my kids off to school in these other states. They're much, much cheaper. Like where my son goes to school. Ironically enough, I live in Santa Clara, California, but I could buy a house in Santa Clara, Utah, which is the suburb next to where my son goes to school. It's the same city name. But I could move there. The house cost me, less than $300,000.
I was going to say probably like half or something of what you're paying now.
Was staying in California like your ultimate goal? I know like a lot of people are just done with California, man.
Well, for the longest time it was. I don't have a problem with it. I like the weather. Don't get me wrong. But more and more, as traffic and everything around here has gotten so ridiculous. It's just getting traffic and everything around here is so ridiculous, and all these other things. It's like I go, you know what? I know I'm here until my wife gets her time from her pension because she works for the city. After that, then it becomes free range, and we can do what we want. Depending upon where our kids settle and stuff, we may decide that we want to move somewhere near one of them. It's someplace much cheaper. The advantage of being able to cash out, sell, and buy a decent house. I don't need a mansion, nothing, but then turn around and take another, $500,000 and be able to drop it into some investments or something to be able to augment our retirement is very appealing, because I don't want to work till I'm 65. I'd like to retire early, and it all depends on what kind of funds you have. And that's the house is your big bank thing. That's your big investment over everything else.
Yeah, that's like what we call like a sea change or a country change or anything like that. It's like because people sort of they get sick of that city sort of life, and they want to move down to like the coast where it was cheaper originally. It's like it's boomed in the last sort of probably decade or so, where like you used to be able to buy like a 4 or 5 bedroom house down near the beach for like a couple of $100,000, and now it's like it's an exclusive suburb now it's like 2 million minimum. And it's
good. I'll tell my wife, because Southern Australia was one of the places on her list of possible places to move to and retire.
Well,
if we decided to uproot and leave the country.
If it's actually the state of South Australia, that is one of the cheaper cities to live in.
Southern Australia, as in the cooler places of Australia.
You'd have to move to the island then, Tasmania down the bottom.
Well, not necessarily. I said not necessarily the coolest, just cooler, as opposed to living in the northern part, or the damn near middle. Nobody lives there, but
no,
you guys just are like a donut. You like only go around the perimeter. No, the middles don't go there.
Yeah, because it's either desert or wasteland sort of thing, and
Becker, Kansas City. I don't know. My wife has family in
Friendship Tunnel.
Where's my wife's family? I think they're like in White City, Kansas. or something. I don't know. You're just gonna burrow your way to my house just that way you can get to my Tim Tams.
Do the old like wartime or the moonshine tunnels or something like that.
That'd be like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, prohibition
how-
tunnel.
That's how Becker and I would do it. Just like Bugs Bunny.
Mm.
Just windy thing. Oh shit! I should take a left at Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be
Yeah, no, the house is no longer going to be with the Crips. That's right. It looks like it's going to be just a beige, which is fine. It matches all the rest of the houses in the neighborhood then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that blue was like we have a saying called "stands out like dog's balls."
Yeah, well, that was obviously what it was is the people who bought the house bought it to flip it, and so they just had cheap. They were just doing the little stuff that they could do in order to make the house look better and
presentable.
Yeah, and flip it. And so blue paint was probably a bunch of surplus crap they had laying around. They got cheap, and so they painted the house that color. That's that. But knowing what means that since I saw what it sold for, and I know what it sold for before, they cleared about $400,000 on the sale of that house. Buying it, they probably put maybe $80,000 worth of work into it, so they probably cleared at least 300. That's not bad.
Yeah, well, that's and that's the thing. Like sometimes you can do just that $5,000, $10,000, dollars worth of just clean up and renovations, or repaint, or anything like that. And depending on where you live, can sometimes add that 100,000, 200,000 just to the facial value of it.
Well, I never would have thought that the house would have sold for 1.7. That's just absolutely insane because it's not. It's be above the market price in this area, and it's like now it makes me wonder who the hell bought it. Now can I say
Well, say over here, it's more depending on the suburbs. They look more at the land value more than the house itself, because there's like our house was built in the 50s. It's a really old weatherboard house that's falling apart. Yeah, and like it literally needs to be.
The land is worth more. That's exactly the same thing here. But my biggest concern is it's a 4-bedroom house and they paid 1.7 for it. That means it's going to be like a bunch of people sharing, multi-generations packing themselves into the house. So all of a sudden there's like 20 people living there with 15 cars, and they have an interior corner, so they don't have even any curb space to park their cars. And it's getting like that on all these around here. There's a whole bunch of houses that are like that, where they got so many tenants or so many people living in there that it's like, oh my God, there's like 75 cars for 4 houses. And I know that there's nothing wrong with that. It just looks crappy, and especially since some of them are construction guys, so they keep their construction trailers parked in the street too when they're not using them and shit. And it's like, trash.
Yeah, it's like the house, or should I say houses across the road. I don't know whether you guys have the term party wall house, where it's basically 2 dwellings and you're like sharing a main
duplex
sort of thing.
Yeah, we call them a duplex.
The right-hand side one is just a couple, young couple living there. They've got 2 cars, but they've got a twin garage. The people that literally just moved into the left-hand side house have only got a 1-car garage. It's a family, but for some reason they have like 3 or 4 cars. They park all along out front of the house, and I drive the work van, which is, big sort of high ace sort of, work van sort of thing. And it's hard enough reversing that out of my driveway half the time, let alone trying to navigate through a suburban street trying to get out. It's absolutely, I just feel like I've always said this to the missus. I'm like, one day I'm just going to walk up the street in the middle of the night and just put notes on everybody's car saying, please park in your fucking driveways.
Yeah, no. My wife and I, our first place was an apartment, but we got Our second place we moved into together was a duplex, but it was a front to back duplex instead of a side by side. So we actually only shared like 6 feet of wall. And fortunately, the lady who had the front duplex, she was only there like every other weekend when she had custody of her kids. The rest of the time she lived somewhere else. So it was really nice that none of them were there because it was, we had our garage and a carport, but it was all the way the back of the property, and they would park in the driveway. And it's like you'd have to like kind of the way it was a multi set of, I don't know, you had to like squeak your car around everybody to get back to your parking spots that were all the way in the back, It's like, but anywho, all right. Well,
Pops, his house is from what, 1906, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pops' house. It's from 1906, and like it's in a historic part of town called Harrisburg, and the whole neighborhood were all what's called shotgun houses because the neighborhood was put up next to the mills that were there. Like, what kind of mills were there, Mom? Cotton textile mills and stuff. So all the workers and stuff would be in like walking distance and stuff. So they're called shotgun houses because you open the front door and it's a hallway that goes straight out to the back. And it originally were built for a family to live on the right side, a family to live on the left side, and there was like a communal kitchen and bathroom. Oh, yeah. But now they're all just like, well, for the most part, just like one person in them, and he's got it like swapped up and renovated a little bit and everything. You open the door and it goes down the hallway to like this big bathroom that he converted like the back porch and stuff into this bathroom and whatnot. But it's cool. It's old.
Now I gotta get up and move around and get some dinner ready for us to eat tonight.
Is that the mutt rubbing at your leg?
No, she's at the I'm having problems with gender for my dog now. Shit. I thought my kid was bad enough, and now I got to try to remember. I can't remember the dog's gender. Shoot.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll probably end it anyway. I was only expecting to go on for like 20 minutes, half an hour, or something like that, and it's like almost 2 hours and 40 minutes already.
Well, I'm glad you kept going. I was glad I was able to catch you, man.
Oh, happy birthday, sir! So what are you now? Like 32?
Yes, I'm 32.
32. You said that real slow.
Yes, exactly. So,
well, Mark just turned 19 last week.
he's still got the puppy face.
That's right.
Got the young boy's face.
Yep, yeah. I'll be 35 this year, I think. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I like that because I'm that way all the time too. I'm always like, how old am I? I don't even know.
Dude, yeah. Right. I think like just a couple years after I had my first kid, that's how it was. Like it's not important anymore. Who cares?
Especially to the last 2 years, you're like, you don't even keep track of days anymore.
You get to the point where you just start rounding yourself to the nearest significant number or whatnot. So then when you're actually trying to say how old you are, what I've been telling people, I'm like,
or even worse, what year were you born?
Well, that I remember.
I can remember the year I was born. Like when people ask me my age, I'm like, oh, I'm in my 30s. Like you get the decade.
now the harder part is actually trying to remember my kid. Like the other day, I was working with my youngest. We were working on college housing application. And it was asking something about birth date, and I was like drawing a blank, and I had to ask you were born. It's like there's a way I remember them, but I was drawing a blank on it. And he looks at me, he's like, "Oh, Dad, don't you know?" So I do, but remembering things is hard, kid.
Exactly.
When you get to my age,
I might as well end it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for jumping on. Thank you for the quick appearances, like good old Nick, who just pops on for about 5 seconds and was actually polite to me for once.
Wow!
He didn't use the accent.
No, he's like, "Happy birthday, Spidey." That was like full normal accent. I was very shocked.
That's weird.
So, yeah, it was.
Can you give us the Nick accent just this once? It's your birthday.
I can't do it.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
I can't do it. American accents. I told you I can't do accents.
That was so spot on.
And on that note, I'm ending it.
For which Americans? So it's the question.
Exactly.
At least
All
we
right.
have like 25 for some tax.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, take it easy, man.
Oh.